What is going on, everybody? A happy early Christmas to all of you. My name is Brett, and I am here for Pop Culture Crisis episode 516 with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary, and Merry Christmas, or Merry Early Christmas. How many Eves is it?
It's
now?
Eve.
Okay, yeah. Merry Christmas Eve. And we have a special guest on the show with us today. Introduce yourself, please, sir.
Hey, guys. I'm Aidan Mattis. I am the host and, I guess, lead researcher of The Lore Lodge, which is a channel here on YouTube.
And one-time full week co-host on this show.
I was.
Yes.
I was Mary for a week.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
Did you
having
like it?
to be female for a week. You know.
That's common these days. People do that
it's
all
very
the time. He might be the most like recurring of the non-recurring people that come here or that like work here.
Yeah,
right?
a certified friend of the show.
Yeah, I think this is my 8th time on.
Yeah.
If we're including the co-hosting. Yeah, which is wild now that I'm thinking about it.
There's we had a lot of fun that week.
That was so much fun.
He was telling me beforehand. He's like, I wish I could go do that more often.
Yeah, I would love to do this full time. Yeah. This is a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Dude, I got to spend a week hanging out with you and Phil. Like, that was awesome.
It was good times.
Do you want to unwrap our gifts?
Oh yes. Okay. So you go ahead. Go first. So me.
You
and
have
Mary
yours,
did,
right? I don't see it anywhere.
I got it right here.
Okay. Should I do mine first? Okay.
Yep.
Brett felt bad because he didn't properly wrap this. It's only in a gift bag.
It's only in a gift bag.
I don't really care.
You're gonna like it so much. It's not gonna matter.
Yay! I'm already happy because it's Taco Bell. I'm definitely going to use this.
See,
obviously,
it's perfect. It's the perfect.
Thank you.
Gift.
And this is a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm on a Taco Bell diet. Oh my God.
I'm gonna wear this to Taco Bell and then use my Taco Bell gift card. Thank you, Brett.
Yes. Well, I do my research. I know what to get somebody. So, it's good. So let's.
All right. Let's see your reaction to this one. I think I did well.
Did well? Okay. Here we
I
go.
hope it's not a repeat gift. It's just so obvious.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. This is perfect.
Should we let you reveal it? Oh, he's pulling out the knife. And we didn't have anything for Aidan because, well,
we didn't know that he was.
It's okay.
We didn't know you were gonna be here.
It's all right.
If the camera switching is slow, it's because I'm both opening my gift and pressing.
They want to see it. That MF is not real.
Oh my God, that is incredible.
And it's Santa?
It's Santa. It's perfect. I don't know, it's like it might be too hot in here to wear right now, but I think maybe I'll just
You don't have to wear it.
I think maybe
right now.
I wear it for the episode.
But it's like when else would you possibly wear it?
Yes. I have
if
no
not
idea
the Christmas
what other time.
episode.
Oh, it's okay. It's gonna be too hot to wear during the show today.
Unless you're gonna take your shirt off on camera.
I'm not going to subject anyone to that. But I will wear it. Is that a Barstool logo on the back?
It is literally Barstool Sports official merch with Tiffany Gomez.
I'm not a huge Dave Portnoy fan, but
I know, but no one will know it's his.
But did you see the interview she did where she was like, claiming that whole incident was over an argument where she was saying like, he's not real, as in like he's not being for real. And everybody's in the comments like, oh my God, that's not her. That's not Tiffany Gomez. This is a fake. This is a double. They're trying to like pull something over. The reptilians are on. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here and I'm like, no, she's just trying to avoid getting sued by the airline.
Yeah.
And like,
right.
Or him. Like, that's just her trying to avoid a lawsuit.
True.
Well, I mean, she was as vague as you can get.
I mean, someone told the Daily Mail that she was sitting next to a family member of hers who she accused of stealing her AirPods.
That's the better version.
And that she like started getting into a fight with them, and then that's when she decided she was going to screw everyone over by saying that the plane was in danger and then they might have to delay boarding or whatever, or delay takeoff. So she could just screw over everyone.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's kind of like yelling fire in a crowded theater.
Exactly.
You know? It's like, think about how traumatized our country is about aircraft.
Yeah, then they just didn't listen to her and took off the plane anyway.
Which honestly was the right thing to do. But if she said that guy has a bomb, that's a different story.
I wouldn't look at her and think terrorist.
No.
To be honest.
I mean, that's why that she would make the best terrorist, right?
True.
Plus, it also dovetails into all the joke is always like, look, women and men have different power fantasies. The guy wants to save an aircraft from a terrorist. Imagine you get to save the aircraft from a hot terrorist. That's even better.
It's kind of like that is not entirely departed from the Modern Warfare 3 campaign, by the way.
There you go. The funny thing about her is, like, look, I'm not a huge fan of the term. Like, whatever happened to that mental health, like, charity thing?
She was like, stay tuned. Every time she posted something, she said, stay tuned. Like, she was about to, like, start this charity organization for
the charity of her own name.
People who hate flying.
I will say we're working on starting a charity, and it's a lot. It's complicated.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if she might have been like, I'm going to start a charity, and then not realize what went into it.
What are you not doing?
Drugs
crazy.
and math.
Good.
Horrible at math.
Oh, awful.
Yeah, actually terrified of tax season. This is the first time I've ever made a legitimate amount of money in my life.
Yeah.
Like more than 50 grand in a year, and I am scared.
Taxes suck, but also, okay, so speaking of, so I just saw earlier, did you know that there's an you know what Excel is, right? Like Excel spreadsheets?
Yeah.
There's Excel.
You mean Google Sheets?
Yeah. Like,
Catch up, old man.
But speaking of math,
So true.
there is an Excel spreadsheet games. There's an Excel games where you compete in Excel. And you do like math problems.
That's the worst thing ever.
It's a thing. I was posting about it on Instagram. I posted on my Instagram story today, and there's a guy who's apparently like the LeBron James of the Excel championships.
You know, to paraphrase the late poet Trevor Moore, we need to bring bullying back.
I've been saying this.
Mary would agree with you.
Bring back shame. Bring back bullying.
I say this as somebody who was bullied viciously for most of elementary and middle school.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, looking at me, is this really surprising? No, I think it shows. I think it's why I have a sense of humor.
There's this video of this guy who's wearing like pants that are like 7 sizes or like 17 sizes too big for him, and he says, "This is me after shrinking down after my best friend called me a fat F word for an entire year." Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It works.
It's more powerful when it comes from a friend.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. When you get comments on Instagram or you get comments on Twitter or you get comments on your YouTube channel, you can ignore that. Who freaking knows? Who freaking cares, right? But when it's like somebody you know, you have to at least try to take stock.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I bully Brett.
She does.
Oh, I need to.
Well, I mean, the same thing happened to me when go back and look at my first appearance on this show in March. It was like March 24th or something like that. I am 30 pounds heavier in that video than I am currently. You can physically see my jawline now. Yeah. Like, that did not happen because I mean, part of it happened because I was sitting around going, man, I just don't feel good about myself. But like, a lot of it was I wasn't feeling great about myself, and I kept trying to have a positive mindset. And then I went through the YouTube comments, and I was like, no, I am in fact a little chubby.
And
I
they
should
were
probably
telling
fix
you.
that. Yeah. Like,
In a loving way or in a mean way?
oh, no, definitely in a mean way.
Why would I listen to you, fat F word?
Literally, it was, I mean, I got accused of being, this has been a banger year for me in terms of being accused of stuff. I was accused of being, anti-Semitic and Jewish.
At the same time?
Oh, yes. I was called fat. I was criticized for losing weight too fast.
Are you anorexic?
Ozempic.
And it wasn't even like I stopped eating and was starving. But no, I literally cut out fast food, alcohol, and soda for a month, and I dropped 15 pounds. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I'll just keep doing that. And people were like, why are you still, why are you so skinny now? Are you okay? Are you like depressed? Are you cutting yourself? I'm like, geez, guys, chill.
It's kind of like when they make like when somebody makes the Twitter accusation. They're like, he's racist and he's sexist and he's Islamophobic and he's fatphobic, and they list all the 20,000 things they say you are when you couldn't possibly. You don't even have enough time in the day. To
Aidan, which one are you? Anti-Semitic or Jewish? We're settling this here now.
At this point, I think it's probably neither. I think I probably got to misread on the test.
It's not an option. To be either Jewish or anti-Semitic.
I refuse the question.
All right, fine.
So that was
no, I do believe I am in fact a slight bit Jewish, but we don't know for sure. I'm gonna have Ancestry and 23andMe corroborate for me, because the test I took was from an Israeli company, which in the back of my mind I can't really get out of my head, because it said I was 0% German when I know I'm German.
they would want you to think that you're Jewish so that you take a birthright trip. And then move
that's
there?
what I'm wondering. I don't know. Maybe like I'm not trying to be conspiratorial about it. It could have just been a mistake or an error on the test. But I was like, you know what?
Mossad
It
would
gets
love you to
crazy
believe
in the lab. They're like
know
mixing
what?
people's spit samples.
Yeah,
It's
like maybe
yeah.
maybe I should get a second opinion on this.
So I'm never going to use one of those services. No Ancestry.com for me. They're not getting my DNA.
I don't even care at this point.
That's
I'll
the
do
thing
it.
is like,
Yep.
what are you gonna do? Clone me?
They
I'll
could
battle
do
my
that.
clone.
That would be really cool. We've got a video coming out over the holidays about clone celebrities, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today, and I do hope you're having a happy holiday season, which means it is Christmas in a couple of days. I say happy holidays because it's easier because it's not actually Christmas Day
No,
right
it's because
now.
you hate Christmas.
it's-
You're part of the war on
There's a
Christmas,
war on
Brett.
Christmas.
It's not happy holidays. It's Merry Christmas.
And
for
we got a bunch of
Jesus.
stuff to get into today. We are going to talk about the fact that Ricky Gervais is he's calling people whiners and babies because they didn't like his most recent special in which he criticizes dying kids.
Okay, he doesn't criticize them even. That's fake news, but we'll get into it.
Yes. So we're going to talk about that. Yes, he makes fun of them. He does, in a sense, make fun of dying kids.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel has been Me Too'd by a former assistant, which is interesting because then this video resurfaced where he has this absolutely ridiculous back and forth with this interviewer. So we'll watch it. It's quite insane. We're also going to look at the celebrities who just hate the holidays. There are a lot that just seem to hate Christmas. So we're going to look at that. We're going to talk about it. And also, I want to go through and look at some of these lists that talk about what the top pop culture moments were for the year 2023 because this is our last show until the start of the new year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys are ready, we will just get started. Mary, are you ready?
I think so.
Aiden?
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, he's good. All right. First of all, guys, there's a pinned link above. Please go ahead and check out the merch store. I would like you to go ahead and get a "Let's Go?" T-shirt. Let's
Get
go.
yourself a Christmas gift.
Or a mug. It'll come after Christmas, but that's fine. It'll be great. So
It's a Midwinter's Nights gift.
Exactly,
if,
for yourself.
If you're practicing, I suppose.
All right. But also, guys, so if you don't know, we went and saw Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom last night. That review will be going up tomorrow in the morning. But it looks like things aren't all that good for the film right now because it's got like 33% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics. And I think audiences was at, what, 70 or something? When we looked last?
Audience was 77. It's in the 30s with critics.
Yeah.
The critics hated it. 77 isn't even that good for the audience scores because I've been seeing them in the high 80s and in the 90s for everything, even shitty stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's so expensive to go to a movie now. You're not even going to go unless you know for sure
You're gonna
probably
cope.
like it.
You're just gonna cope.
Imagine not just coping, but coping enough to go write a review to pretend to yourself you like something.
Literally.
You're like, I love this movie. There's like tears falling
they're
onto
just
your
bots.
phone's keyboard.
But yeah, it was not a fun experience to say the least. And something just compelled me to go unconscious at for the last 20 minutes of the movie.
She did do
Completely just dead tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they defeated the bad guy, then they defeated the other bad guy, and then they teamed up with the UN. Yay, globalism!
Yeah. So go ahead and check that review out tomorrow. It's that, but longer. Also, guys, I forgot to do housekeeping here. Would you hit the like button on this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Please remember that sharing the video with your friends is the easiest way to get this channel out to other people so they can come in here, hang out, watch the show, subscribe, and hopefully share it out to their friends. Like I said, it's like a multi-level marketing scheme or some type of pyramid scheme. Just share it to everybody.
If you have any friends, but if you watch us every day, you might not.
Share it to people that aren't your friends. I don't care if you know them or not. Just share it. So just send a text chain to a bunch of people with a link to the most recent live
Make
episodes.
all of your family watch it on Christmas.
Yes. Please do that. Please, like we had this, somebody was telling a story about we were having like some fairly vulgar discussion one day and he drives for Uber and he said it was awkward.
Wait, what were we talking about? I feel like I remember that comment.
I don't remember what it was about. We've had plenty of
It was probably
vulgar.
something about Me Too.
She was asking for it, Mary says.
We just ruined some guy's Uber career.
Oh, no.
So, guys, also remember $20 super chats. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read those super chats right then and there, and then we will get back on topic as best we can. All other super chats we will get to in between segments, and we will read all of them before the end of the show. Unless, of course, you say something Mary doesn't like, and that way, it won't get read.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's keep going.
There is actually one $20 in
Is there?
Yeah.
There is?
I did see one pop up.
Okay, it's right down there. Got that one, Mary?
Ducky. It's from, Bucky Ducky. Aiden, your only video I've watched was the Jason video. Good video, but man, it did not need to be 7 hours long. I felt like it kept going an unnecessary level of details that didn't explain why he doesn't make sense.
For the record, it did explain why he doesn't make sense at the end.
Why doesn't he make sense?
Well, because they didn't set out with an actual idea for what Jason was. He's not even the villain in the first movie. His mom is, and then they kind of remade Jason, and Jason goes from being... first of all, he was supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
Then he goes to, he either is undead or he never actually died, and he's kind of a little bit immortal, but then it goes from him just being super tough with some like special, maybe a few special abilities and some mental issues to, at one point he becomes a demon from the Evil Dead universe. At another point, he is completely destroyed and then somehow inexplicably comes back to life. He's in space at one point. Like, you're like, okay. So we just covered the first like 4 of them.
Yeah. One of my favorite scenes in all of cinema is from Jason Takes Manhattan, where he's on the rooftop of this building. This dude just bodies him for like 5 minutes with body blows, punching him until he can't punch anymore, and he's just breathing really heavy. And then Jason just knocks his head off the building. Yeah. And it clunks down onto the...
Yeah. But to actually, not to be too snarky about it, to respond to that, our videos do run pretty long. Like, that's, we found that that's what works for our audience. Yeah. And we never get upset with people who haven't, like... Yeah. Who don't have the attention span or just aren't interested in sitting and watching that long.
I'm the one who doesn't have an attention span. I have no attention span.
We've tried to get a lot better about putting chapters into our videos as well.
That helps big time.
So that people can skip around. We have a history segment at the beginning of all of our videos on a missing persons case. That's like, if we'll talk about the history of the region. And we started putting chapters in and telling people, hey, there's a 10-minute history segment here. Yeah. You can skip it. It will not take away from the viewing experience of the rest of the video. We just think it's cool. But yeah, that's just part of like forging an identity as a YouTuber is how are you going to handle things? Are you going to be all of your videos are 20 minutes? Are you going to be, you only do hour-and-a-half long video essays? Do you want to be in front of the camera? Do you want to only be a narrator? There's like 8 million different ways to do it. And at the end of the day, you just got to go with what works for you.
What was your biggest video this year?
This year, the MH370 video we did with before.
Pitch it to people here if they have.
Oh yeah, so it's part 1. There's 2 videos in the series. They're part 1 and part 2. At this point, they can be watched back to back, but we just needed time to film both because it's a 5-hour recording session, which is a lot. And it takes me, 40 to 50 hours of research during the week. But so MH370, for those who, maybe vaguely remember it or were too young or something like that, on March 8th of 2014, flight MH370, Malaysian Airlines 370, lost contact, I want to say 30 minutes after takeoff. Lost contact with ATC. It turned, its satellite uplink turned off, and then their ADS-B system, I think it was, shut off. That's what communicates with the ATC. Okay. So it tells them, plane's identity, airspeed, altitude, all of that stuff, the secondary radar. So it dropped off of that as well. 3 different countries recorded it dropping off around 1:20 a.m. And then another pilot said around 1:30 he was able to make contact, but all he could hear was static and mumbling, and he was positive the mumbling was the co-pilot's voice. And then basically nobody knew what happened. The Malaysian government was super cagey about it. The Chinese, because the plane was mostly Chinese civilians, they were, we want answers. And then the Malaysian government comes out and says, oh, we don't know what happened. And then it's 2 days later, oh, well, actually, we caught it on primary radar, just, the beeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. Okay. That one. We caught it on that, and it was headed over Malaysia, but nobody scrambled jets. Went over Thailand, too, and nobody scrambled jets. And then they say it flew northwest out towards the Nicobar Islands, towards, India, Bangladesh, and then disappeared off of radar about, I want to say, 220 miles from Malaysia.
So the whole video is covering what happened with this.
Yeah, so the weird part is right there. Okay. Because the government claims it turned around and just flew south, just straight towards Antarctica, and then crashed when it ran out of fuel.
You guys should go watch the video then.
Yeah.
How long is it?
$20 video super chats though. First from Red Nose Rainderp. Watching a long video while suffering from a short attention span. Leave a comment with a timestamp. Your comment will always be at the top, and you can resume. Great guests this year: Aiden, EVS, Shane Davis, Eric July.
Many a great guest this year. It's been a good year for guests. We had who else did we have? We had Blair White on at one point.
That's true. Or was that in 2022? It all blurs now.
But we've had other such people.
That gets worse.
Lauren Chen was on. Gothics was on. We've had a lot of amazing people come through this year. It's been a lot of fun. It's going to be good. We're going to have Colonel Kurtz back on soon.
Yeah,
$20 from Bryce Houchin said, "What are the odds Hollywood celebrities will come out saying they always agreed with conservative values but couldn't share that once the culture swings out of their favor?"
That is an interesting thing to think about, because the sad thing is, I think most people. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I had a feeling that was coming soon. I've gotten better at reacting to that. I've gotten much better at reacting to that. Can I just really quickly? I just want to finish. There was one last. I know my elevator pitch is 5 minutes too long, but the weird part about that is that the only data they have to claim it flew south, the only data comes from a British government contractor called Inmarsat. We have multiple eyewitness reports of that plane being on fire over the South China Sea, and it was carrying a load of 221 kilograms of lithium-ion batteries that were not properly regulated by any international or national governing body. And so my theory on it, to basically build it up, is the Inmarsat thing is a lie. It never flew south. It went down, and it was because the government failed to regulate, hence why they were embarrassed and chose to kind of hide it. And so I go over through the course of the two videos, it's like, okay, why does the official narrative not make sense? Why do we think this? So that's where it goes. And we've basically come out and said something that I think nobody else has said before. And then we also pretty solidly debunk Ashton Forbes and his whole, like, there was a wormhole thing. And we did that before he finally accepted that he was wrong, after he insulted half of the YouTube community.
There you go, guys. Go check out that video. And also, okay, so for celebrities, here's the sad thing. Yes, first of all, I don't think that change ever comes, personally.
I don't think we're going to live to see the culture swing in our favor.
That's not going to happen, not in our lifetime. But here's the thing. If it did, I think most people are willing to be lied to. I think they're going to have their doubts from, like, did they really... But, you know, they agree with me now, so I'm willing to pretend like they always did for the sake of going along to get along now that they agree with me. And so I think a lot of people would be very, very willing to kind of stick their head in the sand and allow them to say what they're saying as long as it's what they want them to believe, which is why you should always be very happy to push back on this stuff, talk about the things that you disagree with. And if they don't agree with you, who cares? Like I said, we go watch these movies with people that we disagree with all the time. That doesn't mean the movie's going to be bad. It's just, you got to understand that these celebrities just aren't going to shut up.
I'm convinced most of them don't care about politics at all, and every political statement they make is just pandering.
So I am more of a niche internet micro celebrity, but I will say in the niche internet micro celebrity community, it has been my experience that while people aren't typically like hardcore or traditional establishment conservatives, it does tend, people's actual opinions are typically probably 20% more right-leaning than they let on. Yeah, and it's generally in a libertarian direction, but that's been my experience, is people are usually a little bit more conservative.
Because the human condition is that I just don't care what you're doing if it doesn't affect my life. At least for me, it's like, I don't give a crap what you're doing. Leave me alone.
I'm definitely 20% more right-leaning than I let on the internet.
And about 50% more authoritarian than she lets on.
Yeah, you can believe it.
By the way, you should make a shirt that says niche internet micro celebrity.
That is not my term. That might actually have originated with Wendigoon.
Okay.
Well, I will allow him to keep that one. Also, really quickly, just to address something I saw, though, MH370 did not have communication with Rolls-Royce. That is a lie.
Okay. Right here, live.
Like, I look into it, read through the safety reports. It's incredibly interesting stuff. If you don't want to read through the safety reports, I did. There's a video.
All right, guys. I've got a funny one for you guys to watch here. Are you ready to see Robert Downey Jr. replace Jonathan Majors as Kang? Are you ready? It's
happening. It's all real.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you sure
in blackface.
They found me in an alley in Burbank, trying to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere in an old refrigerator box.
No. No.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Yeah, you went all out on that one, huh? Just one for the fence. I'm going potty. You going home with this?
Just make the movie, Marvel.
Make it,
Just
honestly.
make
They don't
the
have the
movie.
guts.
They don't have the.
No,
They
they
don't
don't.
have the stones.
They don't have the stones to make the movie, but they should do it. They should do it.
So I do have. I'm curious about this, just based on the fact that it's involving Tropic Thunder. Obviously, I am of the opinion that the best era for comedy films was the early and mid 2000s, like Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Steve Carell, Vince Vaughn, like
Zoolander.
Yeah, that kind of generation. And the only one I would put it up against is the 80s.
But not like, we're not talking like late 90s, so like Adam Sandler, early days, Jim Carrey with Ace Ventura, The Mask, things like that.
But that's the thing, is like I can only think of two big names from the 90s and in terms of movies. It's Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey,
Yeah. They were the biggest part of that generation, I guess. I mean,
and they continued on into the 2000s. Like I think The Mask is great. I think Ace Ventura is great. I think Yes Man is brilliant.
The Mask and Ace Ventura, or I'm sorry, not The Mask and Ace Ventura. The Mask and Zoolander both have something in common, that their sequels were awful, right? And the sequel to Zoolander was terrible, but Zoolander is incredible, right?
Yeah.
But also you got more comedy. I recently rewatched Heavyweights from 1995 because I was I follow Sean Weiss on Instagram, and he's the goalie from Mighty Ducks. He played Goldberg in Mighty Ducks. He's the one who he had the severe drug addiction. He got sober about 3 years ago, and he's doing comedy now. And he was talking about making Heavyweights, and he says, I worked with all the, he goes, he's not talking about that movie, but he's talking in general about working in Hollywood as a kid. He goes, look, I worked with all the great sexual criminals.
Oh,
None
no.
of them tried to touch me.
Oh no.
He mentions he named a bunch of names. I don't remember the ones he mentioned, but he's like, I basically worked with all the great pedophiles, but none of them tried to touch me.
What does that say about him?
Yeah, I know.
There's
like
there's an Always Sunny episode that is about that, like where Mac is like depressed and upset that the pedophile gym coach like didn't try and molest him, and he's like, what was wrong with me? Was I not attractive enough for him? Was that the problem? And then he's like, oh no, it was a power thing, I was too strong for it.
It was like the the stand-up guy who's like, I had an affair with I had sex with my art teacher and my history teacher, and he starts naming basically by the end of the joke, everybody at the school has had sex with him. He's like, and like he starts naming the female teachers, so he eventually gets to the guy teachers.
Oh no.
It's
yeah, it's.
But yeah, look, there was a lot of great comedy from those eras that I loved. I think I might actually watch Ace Ventura over the weekend, 1 and 2.
Also, like, I feel like if you go back and you watch TV shows, like comedy TV shows from the early 2000s, compared to watching them now, I feel like comedy television died with like New Girl.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the last new funny show on TV.
When a lot of people, like, what was it? Don't trust the Bee in Apartment 23 with
Never heard of that.
with what's her name, and it only got 1 season, and then it got canceled. And they started going self-referential, where like James Van Der Beek plays James Van Der Beek in a comedy, and I kind of hate that. The self-referential stuff. But
I feel like we're in a drama golden age, but
no,
a comedy
I think we're past
dearth.
that. I think we're past
Really?
that now. Yes, I do.
I guess okay, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong genre.
For it to be a golden age, there would have to be less misses.
True.
And like a golden age would lead me to believe that you get most of it right, but there's just so much stuff that comes out now
I guess
that
maybe,
I can't call it a golden
Are we in a
maybe
golden
like,
age of anything?
Maybe like adventure is more what I'm thinking, because I'm thinking like look at what's obviously these shows are getting into like their mid-season runs where you're like seeing like season 4, 5, 6. But like I feel like The Mandalorian has been really solid.
No show needs to go past.
Yeah, I feel like Andor was really
Never
good.
saw Andor, but
You got to watch Andor. It's amazing.
No shows need to go past 5 seasons.
The Witcher.
anymore.
The Witcher has been great. The Last of Us, I think, was really solid for the most part. There were a few places where I was like, okay, like they're like, no, we're communists. And I'm like, no, you're a small community.
Yeah.
Like that's not communism. That's not Marxism. You guys are just like, there's only 200 of you and you're sharing to survive. Like that's a tribe. It's a different thing entirely. But yeah, I think for the most part, I think we're seeing, aside from the like here and there little inserts of ideology, I feel like the writing's been pretty solid for some of the like high budget series.
I mean, depending on how long it is, the longer it goes on, the worse it tends to get.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Not just that. Are you excited for Grand Theft Auto 6?
I am not a huge Grand Theft Auto guy.
Well, the hacker who leaked all of the info back in 2022, he's not just in jail. He's in a hospital for life They sentenced him to life in a hospital.
What?
Well, they called it a hospital prison,
Yes.
which means
Like a
they
psych
are
ward?
assuming that he is insane. He's only 18 years old, and this is going to be for life or until he is no longer a threat.
A threat to what?
I don't know what that means, but in Britbong, it could mean anything.
Wait, this was in Britain?
Yes, he is a British 18-year-old boy.
And what? He got a hold of the. What, hang on.
He leaked like
It says-
90,
I hadn't read this one yet.
It said he leaked like 90 clips of
Yeah.
GTA 6 last year. Is he responsible for the trailer getting out?
No. I don't
That's a
think so.
totally different thing. But he's going to prison or an insane asylum for the rest of his life, like he's the Joker or something.
Yep.
I'm convinced that when he did this, he was wearing a hoodie. he had the hood over.
Wait, does he? No. My favorite is the trope in the '90s when all the hackers had the yellow tinted glasses.
Oh, and the fingerless gloves?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, what did I watch recently that had oh my god, I watched some movie recently. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and Michelle Monaghan plays like a hacker, and it's really really funny. She's like,
Can you believe any female as a hacker?
I mean, but they like she's got the spiky like they have to.
can.
They're like what do you
can.
think what do you think like a hacker would look like? And they're like, give her a black hoodie and like paint her nails. Yeah, that's what hackers do. They paint their nails.
Yeah, I had some friends in college who were female coders, like comp sci majors, who had they been at any school other than the Pennsylvania State University where you drink for breakfast, I could have seen them absolutely being like Tim. The white hat hacking kind of thing.
There's a $20 super chat here from Red Nosed Rain Derp. It says, how many crisis parties to force Mary to watch the Star Wars Christmas special?
Oh, God,
Possibly
no.
one of the worst pieces of entertainment ever. I'm cheap, but if you can engage my schadenfreude by making someone else suffer.
You name the number, Brett. I'll watch it. But
What year did it come out?
Oh God.
It was like 86 or something.
The mid 80s.
Mid 80s.
80s.
Whatever year it came out, that much money.
No.
How many
no.
parties?
That's less than a party.
10.
10 parties. If we get to 10 parties, Mary, will you do a review of it on like the show? On a Monday show when we
Sure.
come back from the holidays. Mary
When
will
we get
review.
back from the holidays, I will review the Christmas special just to prove that I did it.
Yes. So 10 parties is the number to beat here today, guys. And it is the holidays anyways. Don't you want to make Mary suffer just a little bit?
Yeah,
over the
you got to
holidays?
quiz her, and if she gets less than 70%, I think you strap her to a chair, Clockwork Orange style.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That's perfect. All right. So yeah, prison, like that's an excessive prison sentence, right? Do they just take it very seriously over there?
I feel like we have an amendment preventing this in our country.
Yeah.
Yeah, over there, like freedoms, they don't have civil liberties, and especially for cyber crimes, they have a whole like division, Ofcom, that manages the internet.
I have a couple of buddies I've met through doing content creation as either other content creators or people who were like my followers who I became kind of buddies with playing Xbox and stuff. But one of them who lives in Scotland was trying to convince us last night as we're playing Call of Duty that England has less restrictive gun laws than we do. And I was sitting, he's like, well, because somebody had said something along the lines of like, well, you guys have like a caliber limit. Like you can only own guns that shoot a certain caliber. He's like, no, we don't. And I was like, hey, Connor, are you allowed to own an AR-15 with a detachable box magazine over there? And he goes, well, if it's bolt action.
So not
And we just all four Americans in the chat erupted in laughter.
if it's a bolt action.
Yeah.
So it says the judge explained that due to this risk, he would be placed in a hospital prison until doctors determine he is no longer a threat.
They're going to psychologically torture him.
Oh yeah.
So it says during the court.
He's gonna get Clockwork Orange.
During the court proceeding, the jury learned that Kurtaj had already been arrested for hacking NVIDIA, and police had placed him in a travel lodge while out on bail after rival hackers had doxed him. Inside the travel lodge, cops found an Amazon Fire Stick, keyboard, mouse, and smartphone, which allowed him access to the internet and defy his bail conditions. So he wasn't even paying attention. He's like, I love crime so much. I got to do crime.
He's addicted to hacking.
I mean, this seems like the proper punishment here seems like either a fine or a short jail sentence. like
Yeah.
for intellectual property theft, like we would do here in the United States, where it'd be like you pay a fine and you serve a short stint in jail, and then you're done.
This is during a hearing, a psychiatrist warned that he wanted to go back to committing his crimes after his release.
To be fair though, think about it. Like if you were arrested for that and placed in a psych ward indefinitely, and somebody came in to interview you, would you not sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do so much crime,
So much crime.
I'm gonna do all the crime." Sorry, oh mate, I'm gonna do so much crime.
Yeah.
I ain't even got a license for it.
The judge explained that due to the risk that he will commit future crimes, that is why he's getting such a bad sentence.
So
That's
now it's
insane.
Minority Report, and they're just going to stop you ahead of time.
Can you imagine like that being applied here? Like, oh well, you jaywalked, so because you might jaywalk again in the future, we're putting you on house arrest.
They did arrest Siaka Massaquoi for J6 like 2 weeks ago. 3
Yeah, that
years
was a little
after
ridiculous.
that happened.
Yeah.
Did they ever catch the people with that big Sony hack back in like 2018? Did they ever catch?
No,
the people
Sony. Do you have any idea how like imbalanced gaming journalism and like justice
Yes,
is?
I do.
It's ridiculous. Like, if somebody hacks Sony, they like this happened recently with Wolverine.
Yes,
this
I know. Yep.
So, and you've got like people saying Sony should go after him. They should be, trying to put him in prison, sue him, get money out of him, whatever. People are doxing the guy. Yeah. Meanwhile, like GTA 6 got leaked, Starfield got leaked, Modern Warfare 3 got leaked, and nobody said a thing. It was like, let's spread it all over the internet. I'm like, what is going on here?
So why was it that the hack for Wolverine was so much more important than all of those other ones?
I don't know. I kind of sit and I observe console war Twitter.
Yeah.
And I just kind of go, this is a fascinating. It's like being in a zoo. And you're looking around, you're just watching the gorillas like fight and the chimps throw shit at each other. Like it's incredible. It's fascinating. You've got grown men, like big age men, who are sitting there bragging about the accomplishments of people who don't know they exist, and trashing the accomplishments of other people who don't know they exist, and acting like it's like it. You know how people have football teams they like, right?
Yeah.
It's like that, but even less.
It's team sport mentality.
Exactly. And like, I get the team sport mentality. I'm an Eagles fan. They break my heart every year, and I will still hate the Cowboys. But like,
well, I mean, that's a national pastime to hate the Cowboys. Like everybody's like, my favorite time is like somebody who doesn't watch sports anymore, but played sports growing up, and at the very least, like follows baseball. Like it's kind of like, have you ever seen that the meme that says trying to figure out what world events are going on through memes so that I don't have to watch the news? I follow baseball through John Boy because I don't have time to actually watch baseball, right? But like,
long game.
Like I don't have time to watch it, but I get where the love for the sports are, right? But for these sport, like for football and stuff, all we know these days is that everybody hates the Cowboys. When new season rolls around, it's time to dunk on the Cowboys. It's my favorite thing.
I know nothing about sports.
So we'll have to somebody should break this kid out. Somebody should break this kid out.
Yeah.
Then you're going to get a life sentence.
I think it would be a pretty sick hacker movie. Like go full 80s, really can't like Lethal Weapon, like
or
team of
hackers.
people, international team of hackers assembles to go break into this British hospital prison and steal the guy out. Like,
they'll recast it and make it a girl though.
Yeah, I want to see it. Like, have you guys seen it's Kung Fu something. It was a like really cheap. I'm gonna have to look it up. Yep. But yeah, there was a movie.
Kung Fu Panda.
No, it was God. What was it?
Kung Fu the legend the TV show.
No, it's gonna drive me insane. Kung Fury.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, you'd love it.
Got 20 Canadian dollars from Matt Kelly. He said, if everyone watching the stream donates $1, we can make 10 crisis parties happen. Sorry, Mary. Let's go.
Also, if that was to happen, that would take like forever to read all of the $1 super chats.
That'll be okay.
Maybe they can just spell out a sentence, one letter at a time.
Yeah, there you go. So somebody free my man's over there for his indefinite
Poor
sentence. Kelly Osbourne says she wants plastic surgery for Christmas.
Do adults really get to make Christmas lists? Like 39-year-old adults?
Apparently.
I don't even know what I want for Christmas, like year to year. Yeah. Like it is a struggle for partially because I just buy myself things when I want them.
Yeah.
So nobody knows what to do, but like
It's kind of a sad commentary on the times that you'd
Plastic
want
surgery.
plastic surgery for Christmas.
Here's a comment on this. He said, "My wife has clamored for months for plastic surgery so she could have a smoking hot body. After seeing an estimate, I told her cremation seemed more cost effective."
Oh boy.
Burned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's no plastic surgery for me, but that's crazy. That's such a big popular thing. Or it's like now it's like the like now they talk about like when women get pregnant, now they have the mommy makeover. Like
Yeah.
right after.
But that's always with the assumption you're never going to get pregnant again. Right? You're just going to have to get another mommy makeover every single time. I feel like it would kill you eventually.
It's expensive.
We also got a $20 from Heavy Burn Man with just a smiley
hey.
face.
That's one of my people. Hey, how you doing?
We're well, which means that we're on our way to 10. If they can get to 10 crisis parties, that would be very good.
I believe in you guys.
Mary has to watch it. I never know what to. No, actually, I did know what I wanted for Christmas this year, but I didn't get it for myself. I wanted a scratch logo Big Eagle Championship belt from WWE from 1999, but I'm not going to spend $500 on that. I can't justify the cost right now. Maybe one day when I've got extra money, but I'm saving a lot of money right now, so I can't bring myself to spend that type of thing on a thing that will literally never get used for anything other than hanging on my wall.
Yeah,
not even hanging on my wall. I'd actually probably put it on a shelf.
You could buy it and then put it in your background on the show, make it a tax write-off.
I wonder if that would be a tax write-off. Holy crap. It's a good idea.
Yeah?
It's a good idea.
see, that's what I mean though. Is I don't know what is a tax write-off and what isn't, and I feel like the IRS will come and just bully me.
You're gonna end up on our tax heroes gallery.
I think that would have to be a company expense then for it to be written off. Like they would have to pay for it. Be like, boss man, any chance I could get this? I really give him like a 10-minute pitch, like even longer than his pitch for the episode of the show. I'm gonna give a really long pitch why I need this.
Forget replacing the dinosaur computer.
I need this championship belt. It's gonna be good. All right, guys. So no plastic surgery. Don't get any plastic surgery for Christmas. It's just love yourself the way you are.
Or at least if you're gonna do it in a really silly way.
Yeah. Okay.
Like do something silly.
All right. Did you? I was hoping Ian was going to be on today because the Federal Reserve, the Fed, has finally spoken up. They say that the McAllisters from Home Alone were in fact 1%ers, judging by the size of their house.
This is because of all the memes about Home Alone from all this month.
Yep.
And people wondering what the hell did Kevin's dad do for a living to afford that, plus a whole family vacation to Paris.
He didn't pay for the vacation. The uncle paid for the vacation.
Well, what did the uncle do for a living that he could afford that?
They were probably, well, I think they point out that the guy who plays the dad in Home Alone ends up being like a money launderer on Breaking Bad.
Okay.
So, he was laundering money for a cartel.
But that's just a theory, a film theory.
So it says it's been 33 years since Home Alone hit theaters, and decades on, fans still have a few lingering questions. Could Kevin's family really not realize that they were missing an entire child? How did the wet bandits survive all the wild traps that Kevin sent their way? And what on earth did the McAllisters do to afford such a lavish home and a pricey Christmas trip to Paris?
Well, the movie came out in like 1991, so
Yes.
Mr. McAllister was probably like owned a small mechanic shop.
No. He's a lawyer, right? Back in the
he worked at Baskin Robbins.
Not owned, worked at.
He eventually franchised one and bought an even bigger house.
That guy had a salary of $30K a year, bought that giant house, and is currently looking at his grandkids going, well, in my day, we simply worked for it.
Yes. And the kids are like, wow, which one of us is going to inherit the house? And he's not. He's going to sell it right before he dies.
Yeah.
And then give the money to
He's gonna go on a
charity.
cruise.
Exactly.
He's not going to give the money to his kids. He's going to be like Guy Fieri saying, like, sorry, my kids need 2 degrees if they're going to get my millions of dollars.
Jeez.
It says they attempted to answer the question, conducting a deep dive into the McAllisters family finances. I wish somebody needs to like make fake financial forms and like add seals from the movie studio on there and be like, it was deep lore into the script that Mr. McAllister had these forms lying around.
So the Fed says the McAllisters were part of the 1%. According to the numbers, Peter and Kate McAllister would have needed to earn at least $305,000 annually in 1990, which would be $665,000 in 2022 to afford that house.
So he was a doctor or a lawyer, probably employed a lot of people, had an affair with his secretary.
Zillow estimate would price the house today at $2.4 million.
Jeez.
The best part is like he should be like, this was my starter home. Like,
I don't even get it. Like, I will say, not directly related to the film, why do people buy houses like this? I would want more land and less house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was different back then. The suburban lifestyle was ideal. It was considered the ideal back at this time period. You wanted the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids and the dog
Well, it
in the
still
yard.
is considered the ideal by most people.
I guess in this sphere here, land is starting to become what people consider actually valuable rather than the property.
I don't want land.
You want land?
I want land.
What am I going to do with it?
She's like, you only garden so much.
Lord over it.
That's it. It's just for the feeling.
Yeah.
You go out on your deck every day with your cup of coffee and you look over your land.
I feel like this may be one of
kid.
those things that's just appealing to the male fantasy. Like,
Yeah, it's definitely a male-brained thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could get some serfs.
Also, they say what the McAllisters do for work. Do we really believe that Mrs. McAllister was working? This was a single income household.
His mom was a fashion designer.
No, she wasn't. She wore a frumpy coat the whole movie.
That was fashionable back then.
It was the 90s.
It was okay. So the only reason she would have wore that coat is because Scully wore one on the X-Files, and I don't know if this actually came out at the same time.
She did kind of remind me of Scully.
Yeah, she does because she's got the red hair, just like Gillian Anderson had.
I feel like the 90s are probably going, like, considering like the post-World War II era, probably the worst decade of fashion. Close contest. It's a close contest with the early 2000s. Don't get me wrong.
No, I don't think so.
I look back at 90s like textbooks. Go look at a 90s textbook.
Everything was so much more well constructed, and like trench coats actually looked expensive and like they were worth.
Yeah, but people's jeans were just like hefty and flat.
One of my favorite things to look at if you go on IMDb is find these actors that were popular in the 90s and look at the red carpet photos of them, like the men and the women from the 90s, and then the women all look better now and because they're dressed better, and plus the pictures, like because it's the 90s, it's all taken on film, it's got this grain to it that doesn't give it, it's not as overly focused as the photos are now. But if you watch the X-Files, right, in those early seasons, Mulder looks like he's wearing his dad's suit in like every episode because they did not just, and Gillian Anderson kept getting pregnant, so they had to kept putting her in the frumpy coat even more than they already would.
Make it frumpier.
Basically, yeah. Or I was rewatching old pirated episodes of, I pirated it years ago, so the statute of limitations has run out, I'm sure, of the show Dark Angel, and they're wearing, it's not just wearing leather, but guys wearing like leather pants that are baggy and like really creased and stupid looking. It's awesome. I would never dress like that, but it's awesome. Oh, shoulder pads, yes, shoulder pads in the suit jacket, or elbow pads if you want to look like.
And they say that Kevin's dad was a generic businessman, which means Chicago Italian mobster.
He doesn't look. McAllister does not come across to me as an Italian name.
What would well, maybe he was a hitman. Maybe that's what he did. Maybe he was a hitman. Like, he's unassuming looking.
I mean, I could see him being part of like an Irish crime family.
See, I think it's more like,
which I think is just the Chicago police.
It's more it's more likely that he worked at some company like, what did we talk about the other day that John Benet Ramsey's dad owned? Access Graphics. He worked in some office park with some company that made computer parts, and it was like a bazillionaire because the company got high evaluation.
Well, that was part of our theory, right?
Yes.
That she is entirely AI generated and wasn't real. The entire thing was a test on the public to see if they could be convinced of AI generated images of people in the 90s.
Kevin McAllister's dad very likely sold his company to Lockheed Martin and retired early. Like,
Kevin McAllister's dad is in fact responsible for most war crimes.
it's likely true. And he raised his kid. Have you ever heard the theory that Kevin McAllister grows up to be Jigsaw from Saw?
No.
Yes. So a lot of people have floated the theory that Kevin McAllister actually ends up growing up to create those traps for adults because he's a sociopath. Anybody who will use micro machines like that, it's not hard to believe.
That paint can flying at you at like 50 miles per hour would have killed someone.
The bar in the second one would have killed both of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're not just concussed, your
You're
brain
dead.
instantly starts swelling.
hitting someone in the face with bricks from the top of a 5-story building.
I was watching this thing about Daniel Stern talking about the spider on his face. A lot of people consider that to be one of the greatest screams in all of Hollywood history when he gets the spiders. Because all I can think about when I'm like, why are you opening your mouth while that thing's like gross leg is right over your mouth? Why are you doing that? But that scream is that's golden. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kevin's a little bit of a socio. I mean, the how could he have known that he would be able to get them? Because he gets them to take the shoes off, and then they have to come in through the window, and then they're cut. Like everything that he did in that movie would be against the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, but the Geneva Convention is for declared wars between armies. This is clearly an insurrection movement between two different terrorist groups.
Very, very reasonable, right?
Exactly.
So I still think Kevin is more than likely was just a little bit of a sociopath.
I think it's very likely that he got a visit from some guys in some suits, and he's now, organizing what we do to terrorists.
Yeah. Well, look, it's the scene where he's like, I'm sorry. He's clearly trying to manipulate his own mother. He's a sociopath. It's fine.
He got recruited by the CIA.
Very likely true. You know what they say, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. So it's perfect. All right, guys, let's move on. We got a couple other things to get in here. There is a war on Christmas, as we talked about in the headline. So we actually did a little bit of a dive into this last week about the war on Christmas, but it continues because apparently in Philadelphia they're not even allowing you to put ornaments on your bus.
No, you can't.
So it was Swarthmore, the Swarthmore School District, which is Delaware County. It is literally 20 minutes from me. I my high school, I'm pretty sure played some of their high schools in sports.
Okay.
They recently, because they said parents complained about religious ornamentation or something on buses. What they really meant was that people had put up Christmas lights and maybe wore a Christmas sweater or something like that.
Wear it proudly.
We're not talking. It's not like they had big banners on the side saying Jesus is Lord, Christ is risen, oh come all ye faithful, none of that.
We got a $20 super chat here from the Red Nose Rain Derp. Says half the fun of owning land and owning a sizable amount is knowing there is no neighbors poking in your business. Room for guests, and Anne Frank didn't own land. You sell timber every 20 years. The price only goes up.
What does that have to do with Anne Frank?
The Anne Frank part caught me off guard, I'll be honest.
Let's go?
Let's go. Yes.
Are we suggesting that Anne Frank would have survived if she did own land?
She should have owned some land.
Another $20 from Gordon Shumway. He said the 90s were far from the worst decade for fashion. Just look at the 80s. Jumpsuits, shoulder pads, Aquanet and bangs for girls, mullets, rat tails, spiked hair for boys, and that long hair in the front skaters wore.
I do love there's several great memes that came out of the 80s and 90s. The one of the 80s, it's all the women at a concert and all their hair is just like this. It just says because fuck the ozone layer.
Yeah.
And then there's another one from the 90s where all of the people are wearing tracksuits, like windsuits. It says the wind never stood a chance. There's been some bad decades for fashion, but the ozone layer definitely didn't stand a chance.
No.
In the 80s, like the hairspray.
Irreversible damage.
Yep. So they put stuff on the school buses.
So they're basically just maybe hung a wreath. That's what we're talking about here.
School bus that said "Merry Christmas" and "Muslims need not apply."
Yeah, that's what they were acting like basically. And so they basically said some parents complained. So that's banned. No Christmas decorations. No Merry Christmas. No Happy Hanukkah. Mm-hmm. None of that either. So they said no religions at all, but of course, there's really only one religion that has a holiday at the end of Christmas that is practiced by more than 2% of people. And I'm not even talking about Hanukkah. Hanukkah is earlier. There's a distinct difference between the Hanukkah period and the Christmas period, and both holidays have very different themes and everything. But so this was clearly about Christmas. 90% of Americans celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, we looked
90%.
At those numbers. It's a really high number. They try to make you think like it's not, but it's a really high number.
63% of Americans self-identify as Christian. 90% of Americans celebrate Christmas. I think 1 or 2% of Americans identify as atheist or agnostic. And then it's another 1 or 2% are Jewish, 1% are Muslim. These very little numbers. The thing is, a lot of agnostics And even, I mean, I knew Indian families who celebrated Christmas because it was just what you did where we grew up. It's America. Christmas is kind of a thing here. It's kind of like Halloween. Halloween is not a religious holiday for me. It's All Saints Day, sure, but it's not I don't celebrate it as All Saints and All Souls Day. I do that separately. So like looking at that, you're like, huh?
We used to be a country.
Yeah, but no. So what that means is it wasn't parents complaining. It was like one or two people who I assume approached the school board wearing trench coats, fedoras, with neck beards out to here, and went, I'm offended by your use of the winter decorations and the term Christmas. As an atheist, I am offended. That's all I can imagine really happened here. And I only say that because recently on Twitter, there has been like a surge in militant atheism, and I find it very funny. Like they finally creeped out of Reddit.
2010 again.
Yeah, they creeped off of Reddit to terrorize x.com.
As somebody who's like, I love I watched an old episode of Criminal Minds, and they were talking about this like Satanist group. He goes, we're just aggressively atheists. I'm like, well, I'm like passively agnostic. Could you just be a little bit less annoying?
Can you be normal?
Quit being so extra, as the kids would say, right? Like,
so it says parents were concerned about, quote, religious neutrality, and the intent was to bring awareness to that, not to ban anything. Quote, it was about finding balance when we celebrate, as some may feel left out. In the district, we pride ourselves in being a place where everyone feels welcome and included.
And as we
Except
all know,
Christians.
saying Merry Christmas makes everybody feel excluded.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All 10% of the people who choose not 10% of the people who choose not to celebrate it. Like,
you know what's crazy about that though is how ingrained it was in the culture. Like as somebody like me who had a lot of jobs that required like retail jobs, like I worked at a photo lab for like 5 years, which meant you interacted with a lot of people, like because it was at a Target, customers every day during the holidays. Working at a gas station for several years, you are basically told like, do not say Merry Christmas, and it gets ingrained in you to not say that because the culture has shifted so far away from it, because they want you to feel bad for saying so, because you don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to because it takes advantage of the average person's willingness to be kind to other people. It weaponizes it in a way. It's depressing.
yeah. And I mean, for me, like I look at Christmas and yes, I keep like, that's the thing is I am a Christian. I am a Methodist. Like I have a Bible podcast. Like when I celebrate Christmas, December 25th is, the morning is, oh, this is fun. Let's open presents and everything. But it's also like I have a sincere like reverence for the holiday. At the same time, I understand that there's a secular aspect where we're all just kind of having fun and partying, which, by the way, is what Christmas originally was. It was a feast day. That was all there was to it. There were no evergreens. There were no gift giving. None of that. It wasn't even originally always celebrated on the 25th. That all kind of coalesced. Now, the people who say Christmas is a stolen pagan holiday are objectively wrong. It wasn't. It was on December 25th prior to the Romans having a holiday on December 25th. And it has nothing to do with Yule.
Yeah.
If anything, Yule was actually moved to be closer to Christmas, but that's iffy because the medieval documentation sucks. But yeah, so point being, Christmas is as much just a Western holiday now as it is a Christian holiday. And all you're really doing by telling 90% of people they can't celebrate it is making all of those people feel like they're joined together in something.
Yeah.
You're just making a group of enemies by doing that. You're just pissing people off. Nobody's going to be happy about it. I mean, I know this area, that I'm from this area. This is the main line of Philadelphia. Like that is an area where you're probably more than the national average for Christianity.
And they say there isn't a war on Christmas.
That's the thing is like, there's not a war on Christmas, but there's a bunch of people being really stupid. I don't think it's a coordinated effort. I think you've just got a lot of idiots.
War on Christmas. I think it's a coordinated effort. I do.
It is a war on Christmas.
I do believe that to be true. Well, no, I think a lot of it also goes back to what you're saying, that these networks back in the day they used to want to be as inoffensive as possible because they don't want to get the backlash. And the best way you can do that is to water everything down until none of it has any meaning or any magic anymore. I was looking into this. I was reading this article earlier because I was thinking about maybe we could do a topic like, why are Christmas specials so much more rare now than they used to be? Every television show used to have a Christmas special, and I kind of liked that a lot of people they gave very non-culture war answers. Somebody's like, yeah, maybe they're too expensive. I'm like, yeah, Hollywood, which is just without a thought in the world, just blows hundreds of millions of dollars on garbage that doesn't make any money, right? But one guy goes, well, with the rise of streaming, now shows aren't necessarily always coming out during the Christmas season when a lot of shows were, right? What I always laughed about it was like, I loved it because they would film it. You know that they filmed that episode in September, right? They have to pretend like it's the holidays, and I love that. I always found it easier to get immersed in Christmas episodes than anything else.
What's fake snow made out of?
I don't know, but I know that you're not supposed to breathe it in for long periods of time.
Oh, okay.
There's gonna be a midnight class action lawsuit one day where it's like, were you ever exposed to the fake snow in Hollywood in the 1950s? Did you spend long periods of time indoors filming scenes?
It was
Call this
just
number.
straight asbestos.
Yeah, like basically.
If you or a loved one has been a victim of Christmas.
They've actually talked about how like where they've gone, like when they were filming Mighty Ducks, like there was scenes where like there was real snow there. And they like went and got fake snow because it looks better on camera. The fake snow looks better than the real snow, which is kind of like kind of speaks to the culture.
Real snow is grimy and disgusting.
I love snow. The one thing I miss most about childhood is I feel like we don't get as many white Christmases anymore, and that makes me
you know why
sad.
that is, right?
Why?
Because of global
warming.
Aquaman said so. Aquaman told me it was because of global warming.
Okay, so I will say the ironic part about that is that if Atlantis was in fact a real thing, and I don't think that Atlantis had flying cars and was like this, but my opinion on this is that there may have been like a late Neolithic, early Copper Age kind of civilization hanging out around that time that was wiped out. But if it was by climate change. But climate change that had nothing to do with human beings.
That's the opposite of the Aquaman plot.
Like,
the Aquaman plot, it's man-made. It's literally in the new movie. It's a guy. He finds an ancient mineral and he heats the planet up to expand his power.
I mean, I'll be honest. If I found an ancient mineral that could heat the planet up, I would consider it. Yeah. I probably wouldn't let the intrusive thoughts win.
Wait, so were the Atlanteans sea-dwelling humanoids?
There's a $20 super chat here from Pat the Plumber. It says, guess what I just found in my mailbox? Let's go!
Question mark.
I'm gonna guess
merch.
Wait, so were the Atlanteans sea-dwelling humanoids, yes or no?
No.
No.
My opinion on this is that it was just humanity had maybe made it to like the agriculture phase and was hanging out living on the coasts. Okay. And then the sea levels rose 25 meters in 100 years, which they did, and people had to move further inland. Which means that anything they had built is probably now way underwater, and also there's a chance it wasn't made of stone. So that's my opinion.
Not
on
as
it.
exciting.
No, unfortunately, most of what I do now as a content creator is be like, hey, all those really cool things that are out there, well, they're not as cool as you thought they were, but I still think they're cool.
Still cool. So yeah,
I think this leads us to our cringe of the day. Actually,
we got a couple of cringes.
It's a Christmas cringe.
We got two. We've got two. I think we're going to show both of them.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not going to work. Otherwise, this one here is from this woman on Twitter who says, when you bring your Christmas tree home, you have to make sure to wash it first.
Yeah, she gave her Christmas tree a bath.
Copyright. Unpopular opinion: you need to clean your Christmas tree.
And if you don't, you're disgusting.
You're disgusting. So it's her
heathen.
fake. It's her fake.
It's a fake
Christmas
tree.
But yeah, so guys, make sure to wash your Christmas tree.
Like what? Why
White women must be stopped.
Why would this ever be necessary?
Yep. They have to look for things to do.
It's performative cleanliness.
It is.
Cleanliness.
I feel like people make these TikTok videos just to get views because they know it's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I feel like somebody saw the trend of like people arguing over whether or not you're supposed to wash your chicken before you cook it.
With dish soap.
With dish soap.
Right, well, yeah, that too. But like, that whole thing. And I feel like this is just that.
We had the one the other week where this lady, she goes around to public, to like restaurant bathrooms and cleans them and films it. Decorates them.
Yeah, she went to the Taco Bell public restroom and cleaned it and put personalized decor
in the bathroom.
in the bathroom.
And the employees come in, they're like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah,
because it's for the clout. It's for the views.
People
and we got this one here.
Things,
this one luckily is not from this year.
It's from last year, I believe. Canadian propaganda.
Let's watch it.
Kids, I'm just doing my yearly call to the North Pole for Santa's holiday health check.
Mrs. Claus?
Why, hello, Dr. Tam.
Mrs. Claus, so good to see you again. Where did Santa go?
Oh, Santa was late for snow yoga with the elves and reindeer. He says it's
Irish?
Wait, can you pause it for a second?
Yes.
Did she say snow yoga?
Yes.
Do these Canadians not know to make snoga a thing?
Yeah, it's Snoga.
They're stupid.
What?
Stupid
Also,
frostbacks.
why not just hire actors?
Like imagine they hadn't come up with Froyo, and then they would have had
Exactly. Just frozen yogurt for all time. Continue.
Sounds fun. Are you all set for the holiday season?
Of course. I must say, Dr. Tam, it just warms my heart to see everyone in Canada, especially kids, working so hard to keep the holidays safe and cheerful for all.
So am I, Mrs. Claus. Every child in Canada has definitely earned a place on the nice list.
Every child in Canada?
There's a juvenile hall full of people.
What about the trucker convoy, huh?
Santa and I are feeling as healthy as...
With lots of viruses making people sick.
Thankfully, Santa and I are feeling as healthy as ever. We are both up to date with our vaccinations, including COVID boosters and flu shots.
That's so good to hear.
I always tell Santa to make a list and check it twice. 1, stay up to date on your vaccinations. 2, wear a mask in crowded indoor places.
Blame
and make sure it gets nice
Canada.
and snug. 3, wash your hands to the tune of jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Great advice. Great. Also, you can be sure to stay at home if you're feeling sick. And if you're gathering indoors with other people or elves, open a door or a window for a few minutes at a time to let in some fresh air. The more items you check off the list, the more protected you are.
Yes, you can think of it like decorating a tree. You need tinsel, lights, ornaments, and the star on top. The tree is at its best when all the decorations are up and nicely layered.
Thanks, Mrs. Claus.
That's perfect, guys. That was so good. Frankly, I wonder if they made a benevolent gesture and allowed the unvaccinated people on the list as well.
They're on the naughty list.
They're on the naughty list that year.
Who brought COVID to the North Pole?
That is a good question. How did it get there? Because I've been watching this dude on YouTube who's at the South Pole. He talks about how because of the rigorous screening process to get there, nobody gets sick.
Yeah, like
Yeah. Santa's been stepping out on his woman, and he went to he probably went somewhere where there was like an outbreak, and
yeah,
that happens.
Santa was actually in Wuhan when it happened.
He met a woman. He met a woman at a bar, and what did that lady say in that video? It befell him.
It befell him.
She befell him. Yes. So, guys, just make sure you listen to them. Get your vaccinations. Get vaccinated. Get your second vaccination. Get a third booster. All of that stuff. 9 flu shots, and you'll be fine.
Or else no presents.
I do love the tweet that I saw the other day. It says, like, I love every Christmas movie where, like, the parents who know Santa isn't real don't think twice about gifts that come from Santa.
You're just accepting
like,
it.
They just accept that Santa sent their kids gift. They're like, who is this random person who isn't me or you? Like, somebody actually tried to explain it away. They're like, well, what if, like, they just assumed the other parent bought it?
And never
asked or said anything.
Yep.
They're like, that's what it is. Like, the husband would never know because the husband never does any of the gift shopping anyways, and he wouldn't ask. He's like, oh, that's cute. She put a gift out under Santa. And she's like, wow, he's so much more attentive than he usually is. He put out gifts for Santa, and he didn't do that either. It's actually just an old fat man came down the chimney and put gifts under the tree. So. All right.
Oh boy.
Let's go ahead and check out Cute of the Day. We got a couple here, and they're very festive. The first one here is from Lindsay. She sent 2, I think. It says, "Merry Christmas from Nibelung, aka Edie Girl."
Sweet.
That's very cute. And we got one
She's
more
feeling
here.
Festive.
Meowie Christmas.
Meowie Christmas.
Cute.
Very cute. And this is from
I like
Baby
the
Joe.
scarf.
This is from Baby Joe. So thank you,
very
Lindsay.
cute.
Let's do one more here. This is from Frito Bandito. It says, this is Lilu. She's named after the Fifth Element. She's a Chihuahua mix.
What is the Fifth Element?
The movie.
Oh, okay.
Look at
That's
that.
a very cute
It's
dog.
adorable. All right. let's go ahead and move on then, ladies and gentlemen. Now that we're an hour and 10 minutes into the show, we are at 3 crisis parties again, guys. Just remember, if you want to force Mary to watch the Star Wars Christmas special and review it on here, we got to get to 10 crisis parties today.
It's really going to get me in the Christmas spirit.
To do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that. So here we go, guys. Let's talk about Ricky Gervais, who's in the news. If you don't know, he did a special recently for Netflix in which he makes some jokes at the expense of kids dying of cancer. And people were none too happy with this. And there was a small amount of what you would call backlash. But now there was a petition started to get this canceled.
Well, people were like, you know, I was a fan when Ricky Gervais was making transphobic jokes, but this is too far.
Yes.
So he made a joke about how he does Make-A-Wish videos for dying children, and he called them baldies. Okay, and then he made a joke about, why don't you just wish to get better? And people got very offended, including the parents of some terminally ill children, which is understandable, yet you don't get to decide what Ricky Gervais jokes about in his specials. I'm sorry. Yep. So he has made a response to them, finally. He tweeted, "In this show, I talk about sex, death, pedophilia, race, religion, disability, free speech, global warming, the Holocaust, and Elton John. If you don't approve of jokes about any of these things, then please don't watch. You won't enjoy it, and you'll get upset." So that's his selling point.
Well, I gotta say, I kind of agree with him on that. Like, I mean, joking about terminally ill children is dark, but like,
obviously,
when it comes to entertainment, I think we've kind of lost the plot on complaining about it. Like, if you don't like something, nobody is forcing you to watch it.
Yep.
And except for, we may force Mary to watch the Star Wars Christmas special, but
then I can complain.
Exactly, she's allowed to complain. But like, nobody's forcing you to watch Ricky Gervais. I don't like Ricky Gervais's opinions on religion, so I don't listen to him talk about religion. Like, it's that simple.
And I put the bloody Bible in the bloody fiction section at me local Barnes and Noble.
Exactly. And nobody really takes into account that you have the ability to just turn this off. But that's because people are authoritarian by nature. Mm-hmm. They don't want to just not enjoy it. They want you to not enjoy it too. They want to take it away from you and then they're going to file it under the label of dangerous.
Exactly.
It's dangerous. I keep getting like accidentally, I think Instagram is doing this to me on purpose, but like I keep scrolling and like accidentally hitting like threads, which they try to advertise threads on there, and it'll open a thread. And I watched one the other day of this, who was it? Like Chad Lowe. He's like a Hollywood director. I don't know how Instagram has like fine-tuned the algorithm so much that they send me like this weird television director that I know. He's related to Rob Lowe, but he's a television guy. He's like, I can no longer be on X after they allowed Alex Jones back on there. I can't in good conscience be on the same platform as someone that dangerous. And I just like, dangerous?
Literally just drooled on
I saw that. That was gross. That was nasty.
Dude? Like, are you ridiculous? Like, it's insane. But the amount of people in that echo chamber who are like, yes, absolutely, dangerous.
We've really lost. America is such a safe place to live that we have genuinely forgotten what danger is. Mm-hmm. Like, we've gotten to the point now where I feel like people look at, like, they're like, oh my God, there were like some murders and they're pearl clutching and everything. It's like, that's a daily occurrence in Honduras. Like, you'll talk about
daily occurrence here.
Like, but that's what I'm saying is, like, there will be like 350 murders in a city of 9 million people. I'm not sure how big Chicago is, but like somewhere around there, it's big. And people are like, oh my God, America is the most dangerous country on the planet. Meanwhile, you go anywhere in Latin America and that's like a month.
Yeah, people don't have a real
like the murder rate. Yeah, so I'm not saying that I'm not saying America doesn't have dangerous areas, but like, we've gotten to the point now where we're calling somebody making a joke that is offensive dangerous. That's not a good place to be. Like, we need to remind ourselves, like, yes, if you are scared walking down the street for legitimate reasons,
yeah,
that's dangerous. Somebody, you sat down, you chose to watch a comedy special, you chose to continue watching when he made jokes you didn't like. That's you choosing to expose yourself to these things. Like, that's not that if you're choosing to be on Twitter, you can actually go on Twitter and you can block Alex Jones.
They're watching comedy specials that offend them just to feel something.
Literally,
I
though.
guess. And then they went so far as to create a change.org petition, which we know change.org petitions always accomplish their stated goals. And it's called Demand Netflix to Remove Ricky Gervais's Offensive Skit Mocking Terminally Ill Children. It's gotten 12.6 thousand signatures so far with a goal of 15,000. It says 1,000 have already signed just today. They're saying, I'm writing this petition as a parent whose child bravely battled cancer. The recent skit by Ricky Gervais on Netflix, which he refers to terminally ill children as baldy, is not just disrespectful, but also deeply hurtful. It mocks the courage and resilience of young fighters who face their illness with grace and beauty despite their baldness. Did you have to word it like that?
What's funny is the show House did an episode where he talks about how whenever they have cancer, like kids that have cancer, he goes, these cancer kids, they can't all be brave, can they? And he basically says, if all of them are brave, then bravery has no meaning. And he, in the whole episode, actually has this really interesting arc where he's treating this terminally ill cancer patient. She's 9 years old, played by the girl who played one of the girls from Pretty Little Liars, though the one who plays Allison, who's the one who's not present.
I never watched Pretty Little Liars.
So the actress is like 9 years old and she's got cancer, and basically the whole show is them talking about how brave she is. But anytime they go to talk about what's wrong with her, they go to the mom, and eventually he basically defying the orders of like the other doctors, he goes to her and says like, look, we're going to do this life-threatening procedure tomorrow that at most is going to give you a year extra to live. And he gives her the option to do it, saying like, if you don't want me to do this, then I can come up with 10 very good reasons why we won't do this. It's going to be painful, it's going to hurt, and at the most, it's just going to put off you dying. And he treats the actual child like an adult, like the adults around him are pretending to treat her like an adult, like she's super brave. He actually does by giving her this option, proving that she actually is brave, right? So yeah, but it starts with a joke, basically saying, cancer kids, they can't all. He's like, it's a statistical improbability. At least some of them have to be whiny babies.
It's the a-hole who's telling the uncomfortable truth, I guess.
Exactly.
Well, I can speak to this. I had a friend of mine in middle school. Her name was Miranda, and she had osteosarcoma. And this was also, by the way, the exact same time that The Fault in Our Stars came out. Precisely the same time. And I remember, listening to the audiobook of The Fault in Our Stars because my mom wanted to listen to it on the way to the beach. And listening as John Green is just like describing the absolute whiniest cancer patient ever. And like kind of implying that this is what cancer really is. This is how people really are when they have. Meanwhile, Miranda was probably the bubbliest person I knew. One of the bravest people I knew, was like actually out there not letting it get to her day in and day out. Even her funeral was like, more of a celebration of life kind of thing. Like it just one of the most positive people I've ever known. And I'm like, that is a brave cancer patient right there. Yeah. It's not shameful to not be that person. Like, it is okay to be terrified if you are a child with cancer. I do feel like in a way, it takes away from the people who like really did like persevere and who really were brave to the end. But I don't think that it's the fault of a child. No. But I think it's, everybody in the world being like, you're so brave. Like, stop telling people they're brave. Tell them it's okay to be scared. Yeah. Because it is. Yeah. Then you can tell them that they're courageous, which is different.
Better message, yeah.
And look, I get the parents having this raw reaction to this, right? Because they're emotionally raw from what they've been through. And the sad fact is most people aren't thinking about the larger context of social issues when they have these complaints.
Well, I think they are, because word for word, this petition says, we believe that comedy should never come at the expense of someone else's pain or suffering. So we should just never joke about any subject matter that has personal significance to anyone.
That sucks, because I make fun of myself all the time.
Impossible.
Like, if I'm not allowed to make fun of myself, then what's it all for?
I can't make jokes at the expense of my own suffering then?
Yeah.
Also, like, that's how people cope.
Yeah.
As you said, it's people cope with humor.
Yeah. So unfortunately for these people, their petition is not going to work.
Well, like, and that's the other thing. What I would like to see, like, I would like somebody who's, because I'm a dummy, right? But there's very smart people in the world, and I would like the people who can keep a level head. Whenever somebody shows us a survey like this, or like a petition like this, 12,000 people, like, I want somebody to go down into the statistics, break down the minutes watched, how many people watched it, and then look at the millions of people that tuned into this special and say, like, this is your number. This is the number of people who actually watched it, who had nothing negative to say about it, and start showing it to these companies so that they can actually have some type of actual graph in front of them that depicts just how little these complaints actually matter.
Obviously, Netflix is not going to take down Ricky Gervais' special, and as much as they pretend to have company values or corporate ethics, they don't really. They're putting Ricky Gervais' special up because he makes them money.
Yep.
They don't hate kids with terminal cancer.
They just love money.
They just love Ricky Gervais's ability to generate revenue for them. That's literally it.
Yep.
So they're just aghast that this was greenlit, I guess.
It's just such weird behavior. Like, when the more I think about it, it's like looking at the situation here. It's entertainment. I don't like no, actually I do like rom-coms. I don't like soap operas, so I don't watch them.
Yeah.
I am not offended by them. If there's a comic who says something offensive that I don't like, I don't watch them. For example, Amy Schumer is offensively unfunny, so I don't watch her. Like, I don't know when or how we got to this point of everybody must be satisfied with everything all the time.
It happened when we became interconnected all the time with
Yeah.
the phone, right? We got a $50 super chat here from Gage Doherty. Says, I got 50 people covered. 10 crisis parties coming. Woo!
Thank you. I guess the Christmas special is
We're getting
about to.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost at a 4th crisis party, so
what-
that's some
Almost
work to
halfway
do.
there. Yeah.
We're getting close to there, but I want to.
I could do something really silly and goofy.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see what
Okay,
we're at.
okay.
I'm gonna see what we're at because I'm logged in on this computer.
Okay, we'll wait. We'll wait.
Wait, that's under my name. Don't do that.
No, I'm logged in.
Oh, you're logged
I
in.
logged
Okay,
myself
don't you-
in.
Don't do that. Look, no, every
We're good.
time. No, for
We
a
also
while.
got
I'm gonna
a-
spend Brett's money.
Got a $20 from Canada from Matt Kelly. I'll cover the super chats for 20 other people. The quest to 10 continues.
There you go.
What is the
happening.
number that makes a crisis party happen?
100.
It's every 100?
$100 equals a crisis party. But like, no, because Phil, like, I would be logged into my Twitter on there, and Phil would tweet under my name.
That's really funny.
Dick.
That's kind of
It's like
funny.
back when people would
Hacked!
when people would like write their friends like really like offensive stuff on their friend's Facebook wall, like under their name.
Wait, did they do that?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
me and my friends just did like hacked by the bestest friend in the whole world.
So unfun. That's so boring. Guys made sure that whatever you said was going to get you fired from a job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My older brother like hacked my Facebook one time and like he posted, "I love my older brother Joseph." Like that was literally it.
That's
Yep.
very wholesome.
Yeah, that's not.
I also, if I read that, I'd be like, I don't know if Mary said that.
Oh yeah, you gotta
Especially not cynical 10-year-old Mary.
No.
No.
you gotta get on there. Anytime a friend or a family member leaves it up, you got to get on there and you got to say some of the most heinous stuff possible. You got to deny war crimes. You got to talk about how George Bush was the greatest president of all time.
All time. Like it's so okay. This is so funny.
You got to say the Native Americans deserved it. Like you
got
got to really.
I'm gonna let you finish, but George Bush was the best president of all time.
I watched. There was Jeremy Johns did a review for Rebel Moon, and he makes this distinction. He goes, Star Wars had space Nazis. Rebel Moon has Nazis in space. And somehow it made perfect sense to me because, like, the Nazis in space are wearing ties, and I have no idea why in my brain that logically works, but it perfectly works. It makes sense. It's not the same thing.
I want to see an alternate history movie where we get, like, country western Nazis with bolo ties.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, did you watch Man in the High Castle?
I watched like the first season.
Yeah, I didn't get through much.
I just couldn't. It was so slow,
Yeah.
which is weird because Philip K. Dick is an incredible author. I have a really nice copy of The Man in the High Castle.
Yeah.
I haven't read the whole thing yet, but like, I don't know how you make his work slow. But every time somebody adapts his work, I'm always disappointed in it. Like
what was the
I'm going to say something really, really unpopular right now. I hate Blade Runner.
The movie?
I hate the movie. I
old
love
or
Do
new?
Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. I love it. I do not like Blade Runner.
Yeah.
The original one or
The original one. I haven't watched 2049.
Okay.
But it might be because I had to watch Blade Runner 3 times in a row for a class. That may be part of it. We watched the original, the director's cut. We watched like an extended cut. Like, oh my god.
What I find funny is like that was a thing when I first started doing this. Like the more I had to watch stuff to review, it felt like a chore. It's gotten easier now. Like having to watch something is different than wanting to watch it and puts you in a different mindset. But that's easy.
Yeah.
That's gotten a little bit easier now. So.
Yeah, that's happened to me with a bunch of movies and books. I'll admit. Like I went back and I had to read The Count of Monte Cristo for school. Didn't really like it. Went back and read it as an adult, and I was like, this is phenomenal.
I like the movie too. I actually, it's good.
Let's get through some of these
Let's go.
super chats.
Yep, let's do it. And guys, we're at 4 crisis parties, so we're a little under halfway to the 10 crisis party limit to get married to watch the Star Wars special.
Let's hope it doesn't happen. Shane H. Wilder said this is a preemptive. Damn it, Cody. Well, hopefully we won't need that. Shane H. Wilder also said, Merry Christmas, Brett, Mary, Aidan, and all of the crisis actors. May it be very blessed. Peace be with you.
Oh, well, that was so wholesome.
Very wholesome.
And immediately followed by this.
Got another one from Marcos that just says Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
DC&C said Aidan is a future tax hero. So true.
Well, we support. Then I can put him on my I can frame a picture of him.
When you're so scared of doing taxes that you just evade them. Obi-Juan said, Merry Christmas. Glad to see you back on the show, Aidan. Perhaps... Okay.
Acting up again.
Perhaps this super chat can be your gift. Also, I saw someone recommending you on features section on Funny, so you're making waves.
On iFunny?
He didn't say iFunny.
No,
he
I
said
think
funny.
I got somebody sent me a screenshot of that this morning. I was in the featured section of iFunny, which was weird.
That happened to me
They
before.
were cooking me in the comments though. They were not happy that I'm a Freemason.
How do people still use iFunny?
We mentioned iFunny in a video like 6 months ago, and people were in the comments acting like we just killed their mother in front of them. I was so confused. They were like, Aidan saying he was on iFunny gave me whiplash. I'm like, we were all on iFunny in 2014. Instagram didn't. Well, you were like 4. Instagram didn't have memes yet.
Yeah.
We didn't have TikTok. We had Vine for 30 seconds.
We didn't have TikTok.
Vine.
I miss Vine.
Tyler Hogue said, Merry Chrysler, everyone else. Haven't watched in a while, so been watching in 14 times speed to catch up, and now I'm here. Congratulations on 500.
I'm sorry that you had to hear my voice at whatever speed that
14
was.
times speed.
That sucks. That sucks.
That's another
dude.
language.
That sucks, dude. That
Shane H.
sucks.
Wilder said, don't use 23andMe. They just had a data breach.
Okay.
Well,
It was the GTA 6 hacker.
He's back. Revenge of the hacker. Let's do one more.
Serenko Productions said, Merry Christmas from Hella? Just landed in time for PCC. Also, I'm telling you right now that Tiffany Gomez is not real.
It's very possible.
Hashtag TTGINR.
I love
That
how,
is what people were saying though. They were like, that's not really her.
What I love about her is like she just used it to platform herself into this very normie celebrity.
She's gonna be an influencer for
forever.
the rest of time.
Yep, it's gonna be true. She did like a post the other day. She's like she posted all her shoes, and then she had like a separate wall of just her Nikes. She's like, but I had to do because everyone was like looking at the shoes she was wearing in that video.
Is she a sneakerhead?
She's of a sort. So let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. So. As you know, I am a huge fan of the Fast and the Furious franchise. I think they're masterpieces. I think they're classics. I think it's cinema at its highest level. Whether I'm 100% serious about that or joking about that, you may never know. But one thing is true for sure, and that is that Vin Diesel has been accused of sexual assault by former assistant in a new lawsuit that has just come out. So it says in a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles on Thursday and obtained by USA Today, Asta Jonassen
Something alleges that Vin Diesel forced himself on her in a hotel suite in Atlanta while they were working on Fast 5. And she's also suing Vin Diesel's sister, Samantha, because she worked for or currently works for Vin Diesel's production company.
Does that make her name Sam Diesel? Or is
it's Vincent. Their last name is Vincent.
Yeah, Diesel's a fake name.
No.
Brett.
Really?
Yeah.
This is going to be
Yeah.
more traumatic than
Yeah.
realizing Santa isn't real.
It's but it's better if she changed her last name to Diesel as well.
That would be funny.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, so if you want to get into the grim details, she says she tried to escape the room after this happened, but the actor groped her and performed a sex act on himself. Says she fled the room and then he fired her after the incident. Quote, it was clear to her that she was being fired because she was no longer useful. Vin Diesel had used her to fulfill his sexual desires, and she had resisted his assaults.
2010. So is there a statute of limitations on something like this?
I don't know, but I
Not for
gotta
civil?
say, I was under the impression Vin Diesel was gay.
A lot of people were.
You were?
A lot of people were.
Why?
Because growing up, all of the men in my family were like, oh, he's gay. Which, granted,
Really?
I grew up in the early 2000s, so with a bunch of Italian men.
So why do... I mean, is
So
there
I
any
guess there was
proof?
just kind of a general like consensus that he was a closeted gay man.
One of my favorite roles of his is in a movie called Boiler Room with Giovanni Ribisi and Ben Affleck and so these other people. And his character is definitely what I would call early 2000s coded as gay. I don't know if he was. I might be misremembering something that
Did he
happens.
have the
in which
like
he's-
one earring?
It was just
Is that what it was
just
back
his
then?
portrayal. I could be wrong about that, but it felt that way to me. But I love Vin Diesel in that role because it's the opposite of what he does in these films. But yeah,
She's
and-
also suing 20 others who are not named. They're John Doe's. So I
Wait,
have no
she's
idea who
suing
they are.
20 other men?
20 others whose real names she doesn't yet know.
yeah.
Wait.
And are referred to in her lawsuit as does 1 through 20, a reference to the fictitious names John Doe and Jane Doe.
people that work for the
I'm sorry,
company
where
that
is-
he's got going on, perhaps.
Is this
People-
in the where is this in the article that you have
I'm
here
looking at
from USA
something
Today?
else.
Okay. What
All of them in some way allegedly assisted Vin Diesel in carrying out his illegal acts against her. So she's not naming who those are.
Wait, so this what we're talking about here is a single incident that happened in a hotel room, and it took nine people to cover it up.
20.
20? That
20 people. I don't know.
Okay, like
Security
Yeah.
guards, I'm guessing? I don't know.
it's also like these days. Do you
Yeah.
think that the first act that a person does after something like this happens is to fire them? Feels like it would be the opposite now. Now you
Yeah.
gotta feel like you gotta keep them on staff forever. Because you're a scumbag and you don't want people to find out that you're a scumbag. That's, of course, assuming that this is true. I have no idea if this is
I mean, there's either way. If the story is even remotely true, it sounds like he is kind of a scumbag because he has a long time girlfriend and he's partying with all sorts of random women in a hotel room like that. I don't think we need to guess what's going on there. But
Degeneracy, Hollywood, like two peas in a pod.
It's like
13 years is a very long time to wait to come forward, I guess. But
always say that.
I will say I used to be of that opinion, and then some people very close to me had some stuff happen to them that like I understood why people don't come forward for a while. Like I
just
get
mean,
it, but
no, what I mean is like Me Too happened in 2018. I would have assumed this would have come out at that time.
yeah, just
right?
the process though for like accepting that something has happened can vary for people. It
Yes.
can be like, yeah, a lot of people bury it. They don't want to think about it. They don't want to talk about it. And then finally they decide to come forward. Like, but on the other hand, there are people who absolutely make things up. So I think that's the problem is you have the people who like come forward 10, 15 years later and claim it with zero evidence. And then it's very obvious it didn't happen. And that takes away and causes you to think, oh, well, why'd you wait so long? Like,
Her explanation says she remained silent for years because she was afraid to speak out against one of the world's highest grossing actors, afraid that she would be ostracized from the industry.
Well, she shouldn't be ostracized if it's true, but unfortunately, the side effect of waiting is always going to be that people are going to question it. Whether that's right or not, people are going to ask questions because, I mean, the sad thing is like, even if you come forward right away now, people ask questions. Like, nobody is, the hashtag believe all women did the exact opposite for very many people. Right? They're not going to take anyone at face value anymore. Thanks, Amber Heard. That's your fault, really.
Can the blame be placed squarely on Amber Heard?
Kind of.
I think Amber Heard is definitely like there's a lot of people that like I know there are a lot of people that made shady claims, but I can't name any of them aside from Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Like she's like the figurehead
Yeah.
And there's the most evidence of it being completely to the contrary.
She will
against
forever
her,
be the avatar of false Me Too accusations.
But we do have this. So after all of this came out, if that wasn't enough, this old video resurfaced, which is what always happens when something like this comes out. Something has to resurface. So let's watch this clip of this. It was from the original XXX movie, which everyone should go watch over the holidays.
Are you telling me to watch porn live on YouTube?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just had to clarify.
But here we go. It's from the original XXX. It looks like he was on the interview circuit. Here we go.
They're mentioning Tom Hanks.
God, you're so beautiful. God, she's so beautiful, man. Am I right or wrong? Look at her. How am I supposed to do this interview? Look at this woman.
Tell me your story.
She's so beautiful. Go on, yo, man. Talk to me, baby.
Yeah.
Tell me your story. Tell me yours. Let's get out of here. Let's go. Let's go have lunch. My God, I love her. Look how beautiful she is.
Thank you.
God, wow. Man.
So, Tom Hanks?
Wow, man. Yeah, Tom Hanks.
Desperately trying to get the interview back on track.
And he kind of told me what it was going to be like to be a movie star.
And the last thing I wanted, I saw you speaking I am Groot in so many languages, but I don't know if you ever said it in Portuguese. So I brought you...
I did say it, but...
Did you? Eu sou o Groot.
He sounds so fucked up.
Eu sou o Groot. Eu
love her, man. She's so fucking sexy.
Those 3 words that every woman wants to hear. I'm Groot.
What did he say?
Guys, man, she's so fucking sexy. It's not. I can't do this interview. Look at her.
Eu sou o Groot.
Does anyone say this?
She's working so hard to pull it back in.
Am I the only one that's saying it?
This woman deserves a journalism award.
So
Everyone in the room
it's
feels
like you
so
can't even do an interview
awkward.
with her because you're just like dot 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 dot.
What the
Oh
fuck?
no!
Right or
What
wrong?
is this?
How drugged out is he?
Dude, just he's.
When did this turn into beautiful world?
When
When did this turn into the most gorgeous girl in Brazil? When did this turn into I love you?
Thank you so much.
Goes to Brazil, is shocked that the women are attractive.
Yes.
Like,
I didn't watch the whole video before this.
yeah, that was
but
rough.
Wow, when he starts crawling on the floor, for those listening that didn't get to see it, I encourage you to
Yeah.
look it up and watch it yourself. Wow. I feel bad. She was just trying so hard to do her job.
She was working very hard to stay on task.
She said, I am Groot. He said, I love you.
After okay, I get that. After watching this video, I now have 0 doubts that the story is true. I am 100%. I am willing to believe. Like, that makes complete sense to me.
You're not alone in that. They said, I've always had a weird feeling about Vin
Okay,
Diesel.
I want to stop on that one. Somebody always got to come out. Anytime one of these allegations comes out, somebody comes out like, "Oh, I always had a bad feeling about that guy."
I mean, I
Yeah,
think
sure you did.
Sure you did.
I think the important thing here is that you don't do that to family.
No,
That
no,
you-
you do not do that to family.
I guess maybe he's just overcompensating for all of the gay allegations.
That
He
is
really
also possible.
He needs everyone to know he is very attracted to women. He has
Yeah.
a crippling attraction to women.
He's like, look, the Rock's in this one, and I'm not quite as important as I used to be.
Yeah, I will say this much, that like series, the way he was speaking, the demeanor, all of that, I have seen a lot of that with like Italian American macho culture. Like that looked very familiar to me, and I will say I've known a lot of people who who talk like that, who act like that, who are actually completely harmless, but they usually don't get up and then approach the woman who's clearly deeply uncomfortable. Like
He didn't touch her though, did he? He
No.
kind of like
no, but a
backed
guy
off
that
afterwards, but-
big getting
yeah.
that close to you when he's kind of like I can understand being a little uncomfy.
You've invaded the personal
Crawling on his
space.
knees,
Yeah.
which is weird because the lawsuit from this incident back in 2010 does explicitly mention that he got on his knees and began initiating intercourse with her.
Yeah.
He got on his knees.
I thought he was self.
Yeah.
That's the other part. She said she went back to his hotel room days later and he tried again. Yeah.
Okay.
I read further.
Yeah.
It was days after the initial incident happened.
Just,
she probably
weird.
shouldn't have been in a room alone with the guy after he assaulted her, obviously. But she worked for him, so
Yeah, like now, who are we talking to recently? It's like, look, just don't be alone in a room. Like if you got these women that work for you, don't be alone with them.
I think we also need to come up with a Mike Pence rule for women with an equally catchy name.
Yeah.
Because women would do just as well to operate on that rule. Like, I'm not going to be in a room alone with a guy.
Yeah.
Well, remember who was the politician? Who was the politician that said that he would not have dinner with a woman alone without his wife there?
That's Mike Pence.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was,
Right.
but like,
and he got so much hate.
well,
for
here's
that.
the thing: is like, I feel like there's
back to his hotel room. That's crazy.
there's like things you should do for your own safety that like are best practices, and then there's like what other people's expectations should be, and I think that there's a gap there, and that's where a lot of the Mike Pence is a married man. He's been married for many years. He's in a position of power. It's actually completely reasonable for somebody in his position to say, nah, I'm not going to go to dinner alone with a woman. Like, I don't, it's not that I don't trust her. It's just, it's the safest thing for both of us if we don't do this.
Who was the streamer that wouldn't stream with women? Was that Destiny? Or not Destiny, was that Ninja?
I'm not sure.
Who is the streamer who wouldn't stream with female streamers because he was married and he didn't want it to play a role in messing up his marriage or his relationship, and everyone on the internet, like all the feminists on the internet, were pissed at this dude because he had a large platform, and they're like, you could be helping out, because that's just like, it's your job to help out young female streamers, right? And he said, I won't play video games on stream with women. I won't do it.
Even if it's remotely?
See, that's less, to me, that's weird.
No, what he's saying is like, look, you do that, then they're like, you know what it's like, Johnny Depp in what's her name in a courtroom, like, look at the glances between them. Like, people start making shit up because people on the internet are insane.
What,
yeah, but the thing is,
did he mean like he wouldn't even be on a remote, like, call with them?
He would not stream with them at the same time.
But he wouldn't like be in a room.
It does not matter. Rumors start.
That's where I don't think it's the same, because there's no possibility, if I'm streaming with a female friend, and she is in a different place in a different state, as I have done in the past, there is no way that I physically attacked her. That cannot be made up. That cannot be rumored.
Like, this guy's saying that it's for the sake of his wife to not have to hear rumors.
Yeah, pluck out your eye.
Yeah.
Like, bro, read the Bible. Like, go to bed, sit with your Bible, read through it, learn about how you're supposed to treat women, because, like, you're not supposed to blame your adulterous thoughts on somebody else for even dressing immodestly, let alone, the Twitch streaming of all things. Like,
so it says accusations of flirting or infidelity are what made me say that about a female streamer back in 2018.
Was it Ninja?
Yes, it was. He says, I was like, I'm going to do anything in my power to make sure that no one can even start a rumor or make YouTube clickbait videos. Ninja is playing with this person a lot lately. They're flirting. Here's a clip. So that's a rumor mill that he doesn't want to subject his wife to. I don't see that as a bad thing. He's taking
whatever. He doesn't have to stream with anybody. He doesn't have to platform anybody. But
I just think it's weird. Like, to me, that's a weird line to draw.
It's different than the Mike Pence rule.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
His platform to anyone, anyways. Like,
I'm not saying he owes his platform to anybody. Just like as Mary just said, it's not the same as the Mike Pence rule, which is like, I'm not going to be physically alone with a woman because I'm in a position of power and it might be perceived that something happened.
I don't think there's a digital Mike Pence rule.
Yeah, I mean, definitely I can understand, like, maybe having a rule about not having private messages with a woman. Like, I get that, but like, and especially, obviously there's differences between whether you're married, unmarried, all of that. But I think, that seems a little much to me. But again, not saying he owes anybody his platform, just like that reasoning's a little weird. But also, from what I understand, Ninja has historically been a little antisocial with even just other streamers, of like Dr. Disrespect, who's huge. Like, from what I understand, Ninja's not the most social.
I just, we talk a lot about respecting another spouse, and it's also possible that maybe she did have a problem with it in the past. It's something that bothered her, and he just took that into account.
That's pretty much what he said. It was at his wife's request. But yeah, she did return to Vin Diesel's hotel room days later.
Yeah.
Said she had to go to a nightclub, I'm not sure why, where Vin Diesel was surrounded by club hostesses in lingerie outfits. Later, Vin Diesel and 4 or 5 of those hostesses returned to his hotel room in Atlanta. He disappeared into a hotel bedroom with one of them, and later, when he was alone with the former assistant, he dropped to his knees and tried to have sex with her.
The other thing about that clip of him is he could have been so blitzed in that clip that he doesn't even remember doing
Definitely
that.
seemed messed up.
Yeah, he was on something there.
He doesn't even remember doing that. He's like now he looks back, he's like, oh damn, I was fucked up that day.
That looked like he was on like sedatives.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Xanax or something.
He was slurring badly.
Yes.
But it wasn't like drunk slurring. Like he seemed like he was like brainstem.
Yeah.
Like brainstem issues. Which as somebody who like has been prescribed Ativan, like if you overdo it, that's what you get like.
Yeah. Painkillers.
Painkillers also.
Sedatives would make you more. I don't think he'd be talking as much if it was the sedatives.
I was a silly, goofy dude if I took too much Ativan, let me tell you. Not like that.
Just put me to sleep.
Let's go to some super chats. Jimmy Ray said there's an episode of Person of Interest where they use DNA records to filter people with the warrior gene. I will never submit my DNA to these services.
I forgot about that episode. Yeah, they absolutely did that.
Isn't that just Assassin's Creed?
There was
basically?
there was also the like what was it like that when there was that big trope in the early 2000s about if you have an extra Y chromosome, you're predetermined to be you're predisposed to violent behavior.
Others would say that I think Geminis are predisposed to being serial killers.
Is that true? Can somebody Aidan's the
I think it was
debunker
either
here. Can you debunk
Gemini
that?
or it's Pisces.
Boy, we don't really cover many serial killers.
I'm sure there are plenty of astrological theories about that.
Solved crimes are boring. We like unsolved crimes.
Okay, perfect.
Not that Jon Stewart said Jason X is a comedy and no one will tell me otherwise.
There you go. Perfect.
At a certain point, I feel like you got to look at like horror movie franchises that way. Once they've killed off the bad guy and he comes back, I no longer take it seriously. I'm viewing it as a comedy film.
It's why I love the Scream franchise, because from the beginning the comedy was woven into the series, so it actually works by blending the humor. One of my favorite scenes in that movie is when Randy is watching, I think they're watching Halloween at the house, and he's just wasted, and he's like, duh, and he's pointing at the TV, and the actual killer in the movie's right behind him as he's pointing at somebody who doesn't see the killer in front of them. And it's just such great writing, right? And that's the one where like they find out they're all of these high school kids. It was just, there's a song in that movie called Youth of America by Birdbrain, and it's this great Gen X anthem to just the displaced nature of the children of that era. And they're all watching these horror movies. Kids are dying around them. And all of these kids get a phone call that the principal is dead and hanging from the goalpost at the football field. Like, dude, let's go see him before they cut him down. Like, that's awesome. It was not just funny. It was a sign of the times. And I love that.
Bucky Ducky said, speaking of Andor, have you finished Rogue One, Mary?
Did you, Mary?
No, I have not. I don't know if I have the strength to do that. Taxi Platty said, show Aidan the People's Joker video from the other day.
Do we want to show him that
the
video
People's
today?
Joker?
I wonder if
do you still have it from when
What
I
is
sent
this?
it to you?
Let me see if I can find the trailer.
Well, The People's Joker is a new independent movie coming out about a trans
I got
Joker.
It here. Hi. I got it here. Aiden, you're gonna
Here's
have to.
the
you're gonna
filmmaker.
you're gonna have to look at it here. Here you go.
Himself.
Here we go, okay, guys. If you want to watch this, you're gonna have to super chat. Otherwise,
I'm
we're
Vera
gonna
Drew, and
start
3
right
months
now.
ago, comedian Brie LaRose dared me to re-edit Todd Phillips' Joker. Now, I'm an Emmy-nominated editor who works primarily with Tim and Eric, so I can give you your
I've never seen
standard
Joker.
comedy Joker remix with fart sound effects and rhythmic cuts over nightmare drones, and you gobble it up, wouldn't you little piggy? But I'm currently unemployed and stupidly ambitious. So for the past 3 months, I've been writing a feature-length screenplay called The People's Joker. Utilizing clips from the 2019 Oscar contender, footage from other iterations of Joker's past, and just movies that feature clowns, as well as additional footage that I'll be shooting in the privacy of my own bedroom, I'm creating an entirely new feature film. You heard me right, this is my feature film acting debut, and I will be portraying both Harley Quinn and the Joker. Using these characters, which I definitely don't own the rights to, I will be sharing the story of my transition and how I overcame mental illness and the cycle of abuse that I was stuck in a few years ago.
A mentally
It's your standard
ill?
queer coming of age
People
story,
keep telling
only
us to stop. A $20 super chat makes it stop, guys. There you go.
place in the Batman universe. But wait, That's not all. I'm a huge fan of Suicide Squad, so the people Joker will not only be
Okay,
the first-
Oh,
we got the
Pat
call
Plummer,
to stop.
we got the call right there.
All right.
You made it happen.
We're going to get the
There's-
super chats even if we have to
okay.
torture it out of you.
Yeah, we're gonna.
There
we're
is a
gonna get
joke
there.
in there.
Yes.
There is a joke in there about the trans woman being a fan of Suicide Squad that I'm not going to make, but the joke is in there.
The
Yes.
people in the comments yesterday actually went ahead and did that for us.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
All right. Urashima Otaru said he used a remote Fire Stick and phone to hack GTA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all real.
From the guy
the
from
GTA,
the
yeah.
GTA store, yeah.
I just don't understand how you use a Fire Stick
I
to
thought he was already arrested.
No, they found him with those devices after he was
already
banned
arrested,
from
yeah.
using the internet.
I feel like you can't ban someone from accessing the internet.
I mean,
In
that's a huge thing with hacking.
Britland, you can. Yeah.
Wasn't that a very common thing
Britain,
to
are
happen?
you okay?
That was a very
No.
common thing to happen.
Do you need to be rescued? We beat you once. Actually, twice.
That was a very common thing to happen to black hat hackers here in America, right?
Really?
That they would lose any permission to have any, like, it would be part of their parole or their of their release is that they weren't allowed to have any devices connected to the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Urashima Otaru said consoles are pointless. Only Nintendo has exclusives.
Ready for the Nintendo Cinematic Universe that doesn't need to happen, but they're going to do it anyways because Hollywood doesn't learn their lessons.
Bucky Ducky said British people talking about freedom SMH my head.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do two more.
Obi-Juan sent us single letters because Aidan suggested that, and I'm not going to read what they spell, but
And then do the one from Ben Ryder.
Ben Ryder said, Aidan, I'm a Vikings fan. Don't talk to me about heartbreak when you have a Super Bowl win in Minnesota, ironically.
Yes, as somebody from Minnesota, luckily I don't really care all that much because I was a baseball fan anyways, and the Twins have at least won 2 World Series.
You guys haven't been to one, have you?
No.
Yeah, that's tough.
No.
That's tough.
Sucks. It's not going to happen either.
Case Keenum almost took the Minnesota Vikings to the Super Bowl, which is just mind-boggling to me.
It's a rough life to be a Minnesota sports fan, especially make it to the playoffs and then lose in the first round. That's the MO most of the time.
Well, remember how I said don't come to Philadelphia and put your team sports jersey on Rocky? Mm-hmm. They did that. Like, don't do that. Yep. Now, I will say the 49ers also did it, and then we got spanked pretty bad.
All right, let's hold off on the rest, and we'll come back after.
May I give one announcement just while I have a platform for it? Fire Brian Johnson today, please. I'm begging you. Okay, there we go.
There you go. Perfect. All right, guys. So we've talked a lot today about the war on Christmas, about how great Christmas is. We love Christmas here at Pop Culture Crisis. Unfortunately, there are many celebrities, it seems, that are just a bunch of bah humbugs. They don't like Christmas at all, do they?
Yeah. Apparently, Lady Gaga and Miley Cyrus hate Christmas because they hate being single on Christmas. That's stupid. But a lot of celebrities also think that Christmas is bad for the environment.
Huh?
What?
Yeah.
Didn't Taylor Swift burn like 3.2 tons of carbon dioxide, like emit 3.2 tons of carbon dioxide in like this football season alone?
Gordon Shumway says the Vikings have been to 4 Super Bowls and lost all of them.
Oh, that's worse, man.
Yeah.
Who was the team that's never been to one that I'll figure it out later?
The Lions? The Detroit Lions?
I don't know. That is funny though that the Eagles at 10-4 were all like, "Oh God, the shame."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Detroit's like, "Woohoo!"
I love my favorite is like what everybody hates about the Detroit Lions are like it's your fault that Barry Sanders never got a Super Bowl. All right, continue.
Well, I specifically said that they think that Christmas is bad for the environment because wrapping paper is wasteful.
Oh, shut the...
Yeah.
What?
So that's the main argument. Here's a
So are tax forms.
Larry David hates Christmas so much. It makes sense because he's Jewish, obviously, but he hates Christmas so much for other reasons. He wrote his whole personal essay about how much he hates it. He said the loathsome music, the movies with ridiculous sentiments, the presents, thinking about them, shopping for them, never without resentment, and the attendant pile of garbage that accumulates opening them, an environmental disaster simultaneously taking place in living rooms across the country.
No matter how much you hate celebrities, you don't hate them nearly enough. Journalists, celebrities, and politicians, you don't even hate them nearly as much as you should.
Oh Holy Night is one of the more beautiful pieces of music I've ever heard. Like,
he's probably not referring to that.
What, Mariah Carey?
Yeah,
like
Mariah Carey.
I did recently see a Christmas tree lighting in Italy. I saw the video. They had Mariah Carey playing. I was like, this is America's cultural we have conquered the world via Mariah Carey's Christmas music. Yeah. But also, like, dude, shut up. I don't care.
Like, I love there's this video. It says like Mariah Carey wakes up on November 1st, and it's just her bank. You just see her phone go off, and her bank account just goes cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
Yeah.
Because she's so, she makes more money every year on her Christmas music than anything else. But get a life, guys.
Yeah.
Let people enjoy things.
Also, like, Jewish kids get presents during the same general season for Hanukkah.
Yeah. That's different, though.
And they also have their own music for it.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I do not vibe with the Hanukkah, with the Jewish traditional music, but I also don't vibe with half the traditional Christmas music. So again, I say, just don't listen to it.
I was surprised this year that the celebrities didn't kick up as much of a fuss about Independence Day or Thanksgiving. Because those are the opportunities you have to hate on the country.
Thanksgiving is the one. Thanksgiving and 4th of July are the ones they really love to crap on. I will also say that it's fair that who seems to be getting a lot of credit for loving Christmas is the Kardashians, who seem to be very big at they love decorating for Christmas.
They love paying other people to decorate for them.
Hey, whatever. So they're capitalists. They're keeping people employed, and they love Christmas. Mm-hmm. They're America's family now.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm Team Kardashian now, all the way.
Ozzy Osbourne.
They are Armenian, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne has a very unhinged response to Christmas. He says, I have to unravel all these effing presents. What a effing waste of paper.
This is the same people
F Christmas. I hate it. It's for shopaholics and kids. So I've always wanted to work through Christmas.
Doesn't he fly around in a private jet?
I have no idea. But these are the same type of people. Like, if these people weren't celebrities, they'd be the ones who, like, complained about having to work to stay alive. Who have to be like, oh my God, I have to have a job so that I can feed myself. Suck it up, dude.
Yeah.
That's the world you live in. It's always been that way. You have to do some type of work to survive, whether it's hunting, gathering, something has to be done to keep yourself alive.
This is funny.
Like, these guys, he doesn't actually have to work or celebrate Christmas. He can just chill. Nobody's expecting you to work over Christmas unless you're a YouTuber.
Yeah.
In which case, YouTube is like, how dare you not post a video? How dare you?
That's why we've been like slaving away on extra videos.
Exactly,
Yeah,
same.
we're gonna have a whole bunch of content coming out over the week, so the algorithm doesn't just tell us to piss off.
Yeah, we've got a video. I've got to shoot a Harry Potter themed video.
Ooh.
And then we've also got to do. I got to figure out what the hell I'm doing after that.
Somebody in the chat said you look like Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm sure you've gotten
all the time. But more important, was it the Lucius guy?
I didn't look at it.
If it was a guy like Lucius with a blue thing, like a blue tag, I was reading through the stuff he was saying, and it was hilarious. Like, I wish I could still see it. It's like the chat has scrolled past it at this point, but it was like, so many different Harry Potter based jokes. It was incredible. Good job, man.
You have to have rectangular glasses, or else it would just be.
Yeah, if I had the round, it would be over. My girlfriend and I were watching all the Harry Potter movies this past week because I'm doing a video on it, and also Harry Potter is a Christmas series.
No, you see, that's what I was saying. Like, so Warner Brothers, essentially, one day the marketing department at Warner Brothers just decided this is Christmas now. Why? Because they show the Christmas at the castle every year. In the movies and in the books, the time of the Christmas period is a very important part of the books. There's always a chapter given to what's going on during Christmas. So Warner Brothers now, every time November rolls around, you start seeing all the advertising being about Harry Potter movies, even though it's not implicitly. It's like Die Hard. Is it a Christmas movie? Not really, but it is. But Die Hard is. But.
Didn't God, what is his name? The star of Die Hard, what is his name? Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Didn't he come out and say, like, before he started that it's declined, that it's not? Yeah.
But the director says it is, and the director's more important.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I think
said it is.
I think that I'm okay with Harry Potter being the series we watch during Christmas. It's happy. It's wholesome. It is not, offensive to the concept of Christmas.
Yeah. Take that, Hunger Games.
Well, the definition is if Christmas has to happen for the plot, that would make it a Christmas movie.
But it doesn't have to happen.
For Harry Potter, that's not
at
really...
least in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Christmas does have to happen for the plot.
Okay.
So at least one Harry Potter movie. Yeah. Also, in I know all of this really well right now. Also, in whatchamacallit, the third one, Prisoner of Azkaban, the way he gets the new broom that he requires for Goblet of Fire is a Christmas present, which thus makes Prisoner of Azkaban a Christmas movie because that's an essential aspect of the film, or Goblet of Fire because he rides the broom that he got on Christmas in Prisoner of Azkaban. Therefore, both of those are also Christmas films.
It's so funny how I watched all of the Harry Potter movies just like a handful of months ago, and I still know literally nothing about the plot.
I've been nose deep in the Harry Potter wiki.
Yep. It's important.
This one is funny. Despite his first name being Noel Gallagher despises Christmas. He said, I effing hate it with a passion. At one particular point, I thought, I'm going to give Christmas a second chance here. I gave it a second chance. It was effing S. Too much food, too much We're the World, the sweaters, the TV presenters, the shit adverts, the effing weather. So it's just
Noel Gallagher gets a pass because
he hates
both of the brothers are hilarious.
They are.
Yes, they are. And Oasis is hilarious.
Which one is more funny?
Noel Gallagher is way funnier.
I did just read the Diego Luna one, and his I actually kind of get because he's I just hate the consumerism that it comes with it. Because as a Christian, I get that. I wish the holiday
for what comes with it. I hate Christmas lights. It doesn't
it's just I'm not saying I agree with him, but out of everybody on the list, I feel like his is the least stupid reason.
Lame because we are a consumerist country year round. The only difference is now you're being a consumerist for other people. A little bit of selfless consumerism is better than self-focused consumerism all year round.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, a lot of people don't like it because it turns an eye onto them that they don't know what to get other people because they're selfish and they don't pay attention to their friends and family.
Maybe people are just hard to shop for. Have you ever thought about that?
Maybe they're lazy.
Wow. And then Marilyn Manson hates Christmas, but nobody is surprised about that. He doesn't even have a reason. He just hates it.
He's like,
he doesn't even list
it's my
why.
brand. It's my
wait.
It's on brand, so he hates it.
Some of my friends celebrate Hanukkah, which seems to me to be more conventional and a better holiday because you get more gifts.
That's kind of based.
According to whom?
Well, first of all, Jewish kids typically actually don't get more gifts. They're usually small gifts that are like socks, in my experience, growing up with Jewish friends. But also, that's the exact opposite reason of why you should just feel distaste for a holiday. I wish Christmas was more about Jesus. And he's like, I wish Christmas was more about presents. Literally, buddy, I think your problem is that you're a selfish person, not that Christmas is a bad holiday.
Yeah.
Christmas is, I think, one of the one of the most charitable times of the year. More people give to charity during the Christmas season than at any other point during the year.
I've told this story to Mary. I might have told it on air that when I used to work at Target, I once watched a guy look like he got asked to do all the Christmas shopping that year. He had $800 worth of gifts on the belt being rung up by this cashier, and this guy behind him, I think he had gum and something to drink, and he just paid for this dude's $800 worth of Christmas gifts. Said Merry Christmas and went on his way.
He just wanted to get out of the line.
I think
that was your cynical opinion.
No, I don't think that was actually it. But who is it? The owner of the Cowboy? Who was it?
Jerry Jones?
No, donated thousands of dollars or buys thousands of dollars of gifts at Walmart every year and has them given out to charity and stuff like that. I'm okay with the selflessness of it.
Yeah.
I like that aspect of it.
Yeah, that's what I try to do around Christmas. I spent an exorbitant amount of money on gifts this year.
Also, I think a lot of it's just that we're cynical all year round. Can we pick a couple days out of the year to not just be stuck up douches, please? Can we just be a little bit less it doesn't make you naive. It doesn't make you naive to just try to not be a stuck up loser for a couple of days a year. It's not a bad thing. I'm trying to do this without swearing.
It's okay. You're doing a great job, Brett.
I just don't like that people look at the idea of being kind to other people as something naive, which is what I feel like a lot of it comes back to these days. There's the idea of edgy cynicism is lame.
Brett is right. Listen to Brett. Let's go to Super Chats.
I'm going to clip that later.
No, it's
Super
every
Chats.
context. W. Nanners said, I'm doing my part. Thank you. Perturbed Alpaca said, Luke has weird Edward eyes in the Christmas special, so Mary may find that entertaining, if not alarming. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get there because we're not even to Crisis Party 5 yet.
Yeah,
so
no.
you guys are going to have to really get to work if you guys really want to make Mary suffer through this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen at this point.
I don't know if it's going to happen.
Chris Welch said, all I want for Christmas is Trump on the ballots.
Well, you're not getting it in Colorado or Maine.
Do you live in Colorado? Or?
Colorado. Another Colorado person.
I think it was Colorado, Maine, and California that, like, Maine and California were considering it. Colorado already took him off. I'm like, that's not how democracy works.
For some reason, Brett thinks that it's pronounced Colorado.
It's not.
Colorado.
And it
is the Sierra Nevadas, but it's not Colorado.
Colorado.
It's not Colorado. It's a
least
Spanish word.
At least you're wrong with conviction.
It's a
Brett's incorrect.
I guess
Don't listen to Brett.
Nevada is also a Spanish word, but yeah, no, you're just wrong.
Yeah. Halls and the Kid.
Listen to these guys. They're so adorable.
I'm gonna start pronouncing it Colorado.
That's perfect.
See how you feel.
You should do that.
Halls and the Kid said Kevin grows up to be Jigsaw. Changed my mind.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Halls and the Kid.
Shane H. Wilder said Mary making a Map Hat reference. LOL.
He
was in the FNAF movie. I think. Yeah, he got the cameo.
Have you guys seen the knockoff one with Nick Cage?
Yes.
No.
Oh, you gotta watch
What's it
Willy's
called?
Wonderland.
It's called,
Okay.
yeah.
You gotta watch Willy's
Is it better
Wonderland.
than the FNAF movie?
I haven't seen the official one. All I know is that Willy's Wonderland was one of the most incredible low budget films I've ever seen.
It's considered to be much better than the FNAF
It's
movie.
so silly.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. DCNC said Home Alone can't trust a family that cheaps out on cheese only pizza.
Yeah, who
gets 12 cheese pizza?
That is a good point.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been eating more cheese pizza than I usually just eat pepperoni. Otherwise, pepperoni and green olive if I can find it. But cheese pizza lately has been on point.
I switch off. I got three main ones. I do my cheese, do my plain pizza. It also, for me, it depends on where I'm getting the pizza from.
That's a very important part.
Because like if it's a pizza place that like the base pizza's not great, but the pizza's cheap, I'll put toppings on it.
Yeah.
If it's a really good pizza place, I'm more likely to get a plain. But I rotate between my plain pizza, my sausage and green pepper, and my pineapple and grilled chicken.
Ooh, that's a controversial one at the end.
You have not lived until you've eaten a Domino's pan pizza with pineapple, chicken, and jalapeno on it.
We got a big super chat here from No Diggity 24/7. I hope he's referring to the Blackstreet song. Pat the Plumber saved Christmas. Thanks for the entertainment on my trip from Minnesota to Michigan. Merry Christmas to the PCC team and crisis actors. Be kind. This is the only time of year when somebody says be kind when you can actually believe it.
Yeah.
Because if somebody has be kind in their profile, they're a psychopath and they're likely very mean to you.
Yes.
Oh boy, they're getting you a lot closer to having to watch this film.
I got a $100 one here from, I can't read the whole
John
name.
Wayne from the future.
John Wayne from the future says, have a crisis party on me. Merry Christmas. Thanks for all the good times this year.
Borax, so good.
I thought it was like Make Mine Marvel. Make Mine Marvel. Borax, so good. Borax, so good. Rats in the chat, homies. Also, Jingle All the Way is the best Christmas movie ever. Fight me. Put the cookie down.
What?
Jingle All the Way is good. I prefer the Santa Claus. The Santa Claus in Miracle on 34th.
I am with you on the Santa Claus. I think Elf gives it a run for its money.
Okay. I like the Santa Claus because it's got David Krumholtz as the elf in the movie. I love David Krumholtz. We're getting there closer. We're getting closer, but go ahead, Mary. Let's do two more.
Bucky Ducky said, based Aidan, I live in a cabin in the woods.
As you should.
And one more.
Obi-Juan said, look at my $2 super chat for a surprise.
We did.
We got it, yeah.
All right. Let's hold on for us.
Wait, can you?
It spelled the word that we can't say loud.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
All right, Mary. What are we doing? Are we talking about pop culture moments of the year? What do you think is the biggest one?
We're doing a year in review of pop culture moments that really defined 2023. There's no definitive ranking, but maybe we can attempt it. And number one on every list is Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
All of the Barbie and Oppenheimer memes kind of took over the timeline over the summer. I thought it got tired after not that long. But I mean, I guess it was just how they had to market the movie when the
they
strike was still going on.
They fell into it. They fell into it. It was perfect. I mean, it's actually completely plausible that wouldn't have become as popular as it had been if the strike hadn't happened. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Woo!
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. I do have to say, I did Barbenheimer, but I did it in that order. We went and we saw Barbie, and then we got a boozy brunch, and then we went and we saw Oppenheimer. Wrong order.
I would have definitely done Oppenheimer.
Terrible. That's what I wanted to do.
Drank and watch Oppenheimer rather than drink and watch Barbie?
Well, to be honest, I think drinking did make Oppenheimer easier to get through.
I loved Oppenheimer.
I thought it was good, but it was a dark film.
Yes.
With a lot going on, too.
Who would have thought that the movie about the development of the atomic bomb would have been
kinda
a dark movie?
Yeah.
It's dark subject matter, guys. Who would have thought
But I don't really like movies often that have a dark subject matter.
I do think the memes that came out of it, like, I thought we were building a rice cooker, Truman. Well, in a way. It's like, damn, man.
Yeah, even it offended the whole country of Japan.
Yeah.
They were like, how would you feel if we made 9/11
We're
memes?
like based.
I
That would be like, that would be hilarious.
Exactly. Like, I think they just don't get American humor.
No.
Like,
Seriously,
Yeah.
there was a meme. Apparently, there was a movie that was on. It was either on Hulu or Amazon Prime, and it said Osama bin Laden: The Road to 9/11. It looks like a sports team going to the
Oh,
Are we
no.
gonna get an Osama bin Laden biopic?
Like no, so like if we got like the Osama bin like Osama, and that was the movie, like I'd go see it.
Did you guys-
It's gonna be like a supercut of him being like, I want to change the world.
Did you guys catch the, like, very... It was swift. It went away quickly, but there was a trend of people on TikTok being like, Osama bin Laden was not the bad guy, and I was like, okay, we need to get the Zoomers under control because I was around for this.
We
They
got
have
wind
no
of that.
context.
I grew up during this. Osama bin Laden was not just a guy who criticized the U.S. government's foreign policy. Like, there were considerably more problems with him.
He was
He was a Wahhabist. He wanted to kill all Christians, Jews, pagans, atheists, everything.
Wow.
Right there on the screen. Bin Laden: The Road to 9/11.
Oh my God.
Like I'm just picturing
Why?
Michael Jordan like The Road to 5.
And he's played.
Yes.
He is played by Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
Perfect.
Or Ryan Reynolds. Have Ryan Reynolds play.
No, if Ryan Reynolds did it, it would actually be funny.
We need to race swap Osama bin Laden.
All right, what we need to do is I need to use the fact that I'm from Philly to become friends with Rob McElhenney, however you pronounce his last name. That's probably a good place to start, just learning that. And then through him, I need to meet Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And then I need to find a way to convince Ryan Reynolds to play Osama bin Laden. But I think we have the pieces.
Well, I mean, we already got Andy.
The pieces are all here.
Andy Samberg already did. What was it called? The one where he's the dictator.
Are you sure you're not talking about Sacha Baron Cohen?
Sacha Baron Cohen. But what was
Yeah.
the one that Andy Samberg did? With that they did. Okay, no, yeah. So
Mark
yeah,
Zuckerberg?
Sacha Baron. What was it?
Was it Mark Zuckerberg?
What?
No.
No.
I'm thinking something else. So yeah,
what?
Sacha Baron Cohen already
Yeah.
did the dictator. We could do that again.
Germany did. A German filmmaker did make Ist wieder da, the Look Who's Back, which is about Hitler coming back to like 2015 and then becoming like
Like a satire?
yeah, like him becoming a superstar. It was supposed to be a satire on like, you know, how Hitler's tactics would still work in the modern world. You know, because people don't really change that much collectively. It was every single neo-Nazi at Penn State loved this film. They thought it was like for them.
There were that many.
Yeah, there were like 12. I unfortunately knew them.
And all 12 of them.
Yeah, I unfortunately knew them. I did not like these people, but I did unfortunately have to spend time around them.
So what do you think the second biggest story was? Taylor Swift, I guess, Eras Tour?
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce did take up the most of my timeline if we're looking at like just pure impact.
Yeah.
Like, who was I forced to talk about and think about the most?
I am enraged.
Yeah.
That was... What's your general take on the Travis Kelce romance?
Why do I have to care? Like, why? Listen.
care.
I watch football. To get away.
Yeah.
I watch football so that for 3 hours I can feel sheer anxiety because Brian Johnson is the worst offensive coordinator to ever stand on a football field. I do not watch it so that I can constantly have to look at Taylor Swift and hear about Taylor Swift and what Taylor Swift's doing. Is Taylor Swift at the game tonight? Do you think Travis and Taylor are happy? Is Taylor Swift going to bring him on tour when the season's over? Like, I don't care. Stop making me think about it. I don't want to think about it. I grew up in southeastern Pennsylvania. Taylor Swift grew up less than an hour from me. Like, I've been hearing about Taylor Swift my entire life. Please, for the love of God, let it end.
Yeah, fair point. I think that's what everyone is saying. We did unfortunately have to pay a lot of attention to Taylor Swift this year.
Well, she's the first ethical billionaire. She's the first ethical billionaire.
Unless you're asking a climate activist.
Yes,
say
of
she's
course.
a climate terrorist. But otherwise, her fans are convinced she's the only ethical billionaire. Or they were debating about it. They weren't quite sure, but yeah, they let it slide. She's allowed to be a billionaire. Everyone else who's a billionaire is evil.
It's because she's slaying.
So yeah, just in terms of like impact and how much attention we had to pay to her, that would be a number two on the list.
Andy Samberg had "Finest Girl," the Bin Laden song from the movie Pop Star from 2012. That's what I was thinking of.
Ocean Gate is also on this list.
Does Ocean Gate count? I guess it's pop culture, right?
I think it counts as pop culture because it just kind of
The Titanic movie is pop culture, so it's related to Titanic.
You know, I gotta say, naming it Titan. That was you were challenging God on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we should watch the Ocean Gate song.
Yeah. Do you have it?
I've got it. I'll send it to myself, and then we can watch it here.
I do think the silliest part about that whole controversy, though, was that they were like clowning them for using a video game controller to pilot the thing, but like that actually makes a lot of sense given the size of the sub and how big the control system would have to be. You can do all of it with two hands on a controller.
Yeah,
I can pilot a sub or a plane in a video game. Obviously, it's more complicated in real life, but the military uses Xbox controllers for certain things. Like, it's not that ridiculous. I do think it's a little ridiculous that the U.S. Navy knew the sub had imploded the day it happened and decided that instead of telling everybody, they would simply spend millions of dollars looking for people who were already known to be dead and giving the families false hope.
Here's the song, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put this on screen. If you guys haven't heard this, I think we might have played this before. Yes.
That is incredible.
That was
I want that played at my funeral.
The internet is a beautiful place if you know where to look.
Yeah.
I hope that was a comfort to all of the grieving families.
Yeah, there's also the terrors, though.
But my problem with the story was, look, like, I have no problem with dark humor in the face of tragedy. I have a problem with actually hating somebody because they were rich, just because they had money.
Like celebrating the idea that they suffered for a long time before they died as well. They were like hoping that they were waiting for the oxygen to run out.
Holy crap, we missed, did we miss some?
You missed quite a few super chats. I wasn't sure if you had seen it yet.
Okay, hold on, guys.
How far behind are we?
I'm going back on.
There was a lot of super chat money that just came
we're
through.
at 10. No.
Tree brand for 300 euro. Is that a euro?
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
a euro.
It says it's pronounced tree beard. There you go, tree beard, but spelt like brie the cheese. I'm making up for all the streams I didn't donate to this year. Merry Christmas, lads and ladies. P.S. Brett, what's your version of Live, Laugh, Love? It must be embroidered. Wait, what do you mean? What's my version?
Like,
of
if you were to get a Live, Laugh, Love pillow, what would it say?
Die, scowl, hate.
If I had
that was dark, Mary.
If I had something like that, I don't actually know what I would have to. You can't put me on the spot for something like that.
I mean, you have made yourself a YouTube personality. You got to get used to being put on the spot.
I don't know if
podcast, skate, love.
No, literally none of that. Look,
It would definitely have something to do with either Veronica Mars or the X-Files.
You brought it up today, not me. I didn't bring up Veronica Mars.
I was very proud of you.
Look, when that happened, it was because I was in the middle of watching it through for the first time. Just like you with Harry Potter in your
Okay, I know, but my sample size, I have spent I've spent 8 days with you.
We've got more.
Cloud Roth for
Cloud Roth
$20.
said Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Christmas. Matt Kelly sent $100, $100 Canadian dollars, saying Merry Christmas. Christmas.
Canadian, but we still love you. Thank you.
It's okay, Frostback. Heavy Burnman said, if y'all got sponsored by Taco Bell, what's the PCC Cravings box looking like?
The fact that they don't do the double-decker taco anymore really
It's got to have a
bums me
crunch
out.
wrap.
But that it's got to have a
Obviously
crunch
crunch
wrap.
wrap.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. What would you have in it?
Maybe a grilled cheese burrito. Actually, I would put one of their breakfast items in there. I like their breakfast crunch wrap.
I have never had Taco Bell breakfast food in my life.
People swear by it.
I'm proud to say that I have, and it's worth it.
All right, I'll have to try it.
Yeah.
I'll consider it.
I'm going to be spending this whole break thinking about what my live, laugh, love slogan.
You're a very anti-slogan person.
You should get one to go behind you on the wall.
I don't like slogans. I'm not a fan of.
More of a fastkin.
Like
Your slogan is I don't like slogans.
Yeah, there it is. Like death to slogans. That's that. I would be good with death to slogans.
Right amount of words, wrong format.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like when you see the people who have the signs in their yard that say like, in this yard we believe that science is real and nobody can be illegal and I'm stupid.
In this house we believe Jason X is a comedy movie. We believe.
Do you like skeet, skirt?
No, none of that.
It's kind of gross though.
I hate slogans. I'm not a fan of slogans.
And lastly, we got one from Yizzy144 saying Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
So I think we're all caught up now.
Okay, so back to these conspiracies. There was to conspiracies.
Not conspiracies.
To these too many of.
We
these
covered
moments.
Ocean Gate. They brought up Brian Johnson. You mentioned a different Brian Johnson, but we're talking about.
Oh, that's funny.
The one who thinks he can de-age himself to be 18 again.
That was big.
He was a big deal.
For a guy who looks exactly his age, the rest of his family must look really old for their age because he's doing all this stuff to de-age himself, and he looks literally exactly his age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just looks like an in shape 40-year-old. From what I understand, like
Poor guy.
That actually is like a thing that happens. Not so much in America, but like the idea of like blood boys and stuff like that is real, but it's been heavily criticized by every medical institution in the world as
Well, he's
being
getting, like
useless.
Blood donations from his 18-year-old son.
They've basically been like, this is incredibly dangerous and has none of the benefits you think it does, or at least they haven't been proven, so you probably shouldn't do it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I saw on this list Sam Smith's inflatable latex costume, which I'm going to put up on screen there. Where's the
God.
dignity?
That was a moment.
I was explaining to Mary how I think that Sam Smith is maybe the saddest story of all of that's going on in Hollywood, because Sam Smith was actually if you like pop music, Sam Smith was an extremely talented singer who didn't need a gimmick. He was just a musician who happened to be gay, who was very talented, and then just went this ridiculous
never
route.
did anyone care that Sam Smith was gay. And he realized that, and he was like, wait, people don't care that I'm gay? Okay, I'm non-binary. And everyone had to react to that and start calling him they, them. And then he started doing the whole Satanist LARP. It's just not giving what it's supposed to give. And it's sad because he's so talented.
Yeah.
And I would say Demi Lovato would be like in a similar category.
Lil Nas X also got weird. Like,
not as talented though.
I honestly, I think he's a pretty solid musician. Like,
interesting.
And writer. Like I like his writing. I like the way he makes music. I don't think he needed to do something that weird and out of the box as like giving Satan a lap dance.
They also mentioned Ariana DeBoe's viral rap at BAFTAs. I forgot about that. It was so bad.
Wait, do you have the video?
I can look for it.
I have not
I want to
seen
relive
one.
that.
It's so bad. Here, let's see if I can.
It was so awkward.
I forgot about the ski
It was
trial.
like, who greenlit this and why did they let her embarrass herself on TV? Oh, it was so bad to see people's reactions.
I also feel like Matthew Perry dying isn't really a pop culture event. That's just kind of a tragedy.
No, I mean, that's unfortunately those are inextricably linked
I guess.
in the industry. Here we go.
Ladies in the room, supporting and leading, all here I presume. Hong Chow, Dolly D, Carrie and Carrie with the C. Dame Emma, I'm so fond. Anna girl, you were great and blonde. Danielle D, you broke my heart. Michelle, I've loved you from the start. Angela Bassett did the thing. Viola Davis, Woman King. Kate, you're a genius. And Jamie Lee, you are all of us.
Like, I felt so bad for all the celebrities who just felt bad for her, who are just sitting there like this poor lady who's having her career destroyed right in front of us.
They didn't. They had to do the live reactions too.
Breath control.
Yeah.
That is all I'm gonna say.
Just lip sync it, or don't do it at all.
Well, don't do it at all was the best possible option, but maybe take a single singing lesson first would have helped.
Yeah.
I know it's rapping, but like you learn how to breathe.
It's a nerve-wracking moment to destroy your career on TV. So
I honestly
understand. I understand why she was short of breath.
Don't do that.
Bad idea. Wow, I'm so.
This is the problem with our culture of tolerating everything and affirming everyone, is that somebody should have sat her down and sternly just said, listen, no.
I hope it was worth the money.
They mention, this other list mentions white men in the Roman Empire. I don't remember white men being part of it. I just remember it being men.
I remember it being men. Yeah.
So how often do you think about the Roman Empire?
Me? Fairly frequently, at least once a day.
Yeah. I would say you're like the example, like
Yeah.
you're the stereotype.
Yeah.
Guy who
Another
thinks about
one
the
that's
Roman Empire.
mentioned-
I asked
I think the
several
only-
guys how often they think about the Roman Empire. They don't. So
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, every good
Brett
Catholic
said
should think about the Roman Empire once a day.
Yeah,
I don't think
but
about the Roman Empire.
Brett doesn't.
I don't.
That's fair.
Only at the time period when it was a big part of the discussion in the comparisons to the fall of America and its comparisons to the Roman Empire.
Yeah, I would love for people who talk about the fall of Rome mirroring the fall of America to go back and read the entire history of Rome, starting with like the kingdom breaking away from the Tarquinii, because Rome went through like 8 different civil wars before Caesar.
So that one, another one that gets brought up on here was Colleen Ballinger in the 10 minutes
that was
ukulele
rough.
apology.
Yeah, the ukulele apology that will live in infamy.
That sounds like a Harry Potter movie. Colleen Ballinger in the 10-minute ukulele apology.
Yeah.
That would be good.
That was bad. Not like that was also funny because so few people understood the context of what she was apologizing for, who that lady was. Like a lot of people just don't pay attention to YouTubers, but I like knew all the lore. Yeah.
I only vaguely remembered that Miranda Sings existed.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the ironic thing, despite the fact that I am a full-time YouTuber now. Like I did not watch YouTube from probably 2010 to 2020.
Then you would have missed her.
Yeah.
They mentioned Pope Francis in the sadly AI-generated puffy white jacket.
That was such a swag.
Which
photo.
I'm sorry, but there was when we were talking about the Epstein client list, he was wearing like a puffy white jacket, and the first thing I thought of was Pope Francis in the puffy white jacket when I saw
He
it.
loaned it to
He loaned it to
Yeah.
the Pope, and that's how he got away with it for so long. Gwyneth Paltrow in the ski trial.
Obviously.
I forgot that was this year.
That
had
was
to be on the list.
This is a long year, man.
Ozempic is on the list.
Yep.
Just Ozempic becoming a thing in pop culture.
Why is everyone so skinny all of a sudden?
I mean,
what was the Tube Girl?
Tube Girl?
That's not one that I knew. That was not one that I had seen.
I like how TikTok always asks me to drag a puzzle piece into place before I can watch a video that I clicked on.
I do like that they mentioned Kurt Cobain's daughter marrying Tony Hawk's son, which is basically
That happened? I didn't know that.
That was this year, and it's a 90s throwback. It's what you've always wanted.
Okay, and there's Lil Tay's death hoax, and then rap career launching. Haven't heard much from her.
Snoop
after
Dogg
that.
saying that he was quitting smoking and it was all just a ploy to sell a product.
Oh, I think that the stuff about
Yep.
aren't you guys bankrupt and this is why you guys are bankrupt is referencing Vice going bankrupt. So that was a self-referential joke.
So also Lana Del Rey and Lana Del Rey gun magazines for Mexican cartel members.
like printed images of Lana Del Rey onto their magazines.
Was it the magazine or was it the grip?
No, I think it was the magazine. That was ranked number 1 here.
Yeah.
But it was Vice, so they might be reporting it wrong. Threads became a thing and nobody used it.
Not to this day, at least to the people that I accidentally click on.
I had no idea about this, but there's a self-proclaimed sniffluencer who rates various toilets around the globe for doing lines in.
Listen, some people just need to be taken out to the woodshed, and he's one of them.
$1.99 on here says Zins becoming the new vapes.
I mean, they're not as bad for you. As
I feel like you've already lined up the fact that it's a Zin.
Yep.
Like this is a cardinal Zin.
Yeah.
This is one of the 7 deadly Zins.
Way less risky than vaping.
You could just not use nicotine.
No. No,
Like, okay.
that's not going to happen.
Joe Biden's dog attacking people. Yes, Commander was his name?
I forgot about it.
That was this
he
year?
put down? Did he die?
I think they rehomed him.
I think they rehomed him. They got rid of him.
Where is he now?
Oh, also Nepo babies. Nepo babies was a big thing.
The Nepo
that people were
discourse.
Okay, another unpopular opinion. I see absolutely nothing wrong with the idea of nepotism.
I don't either.
Like if you have raised your child under the circumstances that you have raised your child to be your successor and like trained them from childhood.
Yeah.
I see no problem with that.
Well, to
like,
me,
as a parent, that's your job, is to get your child ahead in life.
What I see now is it's actually like, even though their success may be a little bit predetermined, I like the underdog story of it all, of somebody who has to like try to outshine somebody who is very, very good in their field. So I've really taken to watching John David Washington act because he's never going to be Denzel.
Yeah.
He's not. But I love watching him get these roles and do his best. And I want to see people who come into the industry and try to. I mean, it's even better when they don't take their parents' last name. I do like Nicolas Cage. I do like that when they get away from that and they try to make their career on their own, right?
Yeah.
But I don't see the problem with it. But there's just a lot of envy in the world, and people hate the fact that it actually probably takes a little bit of maybe, I don't know if it's a shortcut, but it's a lot of courage to want to try to make it in the same field as your parent, especially if you don't take the same name as them. If you try to make it in the same field and supposedly use less of their influence, though you could say that influence is still being felt behind the scenes. They may still be able to help you get roles, but it doesn't mean you're going to be able to give the performances that they do. I'm never going to hate them for that.
Well, my main problem with it is lying about being a receiving nepotism.
Yes,
or
and now
like,
if they're like, oh, look,
it's
I
like
didn't
my
get
problem
any-
with plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I have a problem with plastic surgery, but also I have a problem more so with you lying about getting plastic surgery. Fans throwing random shit at celebrities on stage.
And
why is this a thing?
It's not just that. It's also celebrities throwing stuff back at them. Cardi B and 50 Cent both tagged people in the face with microphones.
Can't handle the heat. Get out of the kitchen,
Exactly.
is what they said.
Yeah.
They mentioned Be Real. Do you remember that app?
Yeah.
Did you ever have a Be Real?
I think I got like in my previous relationship, I'm pretty sure I was hard launched on Be Real. Yeah.
Okay.
I also learned what the term hard launch meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently I missed some stuff.
They mentioned
people think that they're way more important than they are
Yeah.
if they need to soft launch or hard launch a relationship they're
It's a
in on
little
social
weird.
media. Literally, no one cares who you're dating or when.
That's a thing.
Yeah. Also,
They're
You're
like-
not a celebrity. Like,
It's
no
almost
one cares.
as bad as when somebody, when two people buy a house and they say, "So we did a thing."
oh my God, I hate it.
So we did a thing.
I hate it.
Like, by the way, if you're marketing a product, if you're doing something that you're passionate about, if you have written a book, if you've made a movie, if you've done anything, do not make your first announcement about it. So I did a thing.
Oh, yeah, no.
Actually, take pride in what you made. It's so millennial and stupid. Just don't do it.
Millennial humor
Awful.
and its consequences have been a disaster for the human
no,
race.
It is. It's a desire. It's first
BuzzFeed.
of all, it's fear. It's fear of putting themselves out there, and it's a desire to put off, people telling you that it's bad, right? So you have to downplay it.
Yeah.
You downplay it and pretend it's not as important to you as it was, which is one of two bad options. Either you're downplaying it and it's way more important to you and you're pretending it's not because you're scared of how it's going to be received, or you actually don't give a crap about it, so you say, "Oh, so we did a thing."
Yeah. I just really quickly, just because I saw them in the chat, and I think they deserve to be pointed out because you guys could use them for merch. Somebody said, "Hate the Zin, not the Zinner," and another person said, "Forgive me, Lord, for I have zinned." And I feel like you could make both of these into shirts.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I bet other people have, but
But you can actually sell them because you have a platform.
Yeah, we could jump in on that. The Chinese spy balloon, I don't really see that as a pop culture moment, but
The death.
That
of
was
the-
more of a we are way behind the times moment.
yeah.
The death of the MCU is on here, and yes, it was a year where 2 out of 3 MCU movies lost money, and the one that did was the end. It was the last gasp of James Gunn directing at Marvel. So it really is the end of an era.
The cockroach at the Met Gala.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember
There was a
that either.
cockroach on the red carpet at the Met Gala, and they started taking photos of it. It will be remembered forever. It's probably still alive.
It's been a crazy year. It's
Yeah?
been a crazy year.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like it was broken down into like before and after. Like first it was Barbie and Oppenheimer, and then it was Taylor Swift in the second half of the year.
Yeah, those are the main.
Those were the big ones.
Things that dominated our attention.
Yeah, and the year before that, it was the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial, and all that came out
and
of that.
Slapgate.
And Slapgate.
Those are the two ones.
Yeah, it's been a
Slapgate.
and well, also we didn't even mention the frickin' strike, the actor strike.
Oh,
was
yeah.
a big deal. They were on the list of when Taylor Swift got named Time Magazine Person of the Year. One of the people that was one of the ones suggested was the strikers.
On the short list.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so lame.
Super lame.
Like, I remember I had a conversation about that whole thing with my best friend, who's my co-host, my editor. Like, he and I were talking about it, and he was basically like talking about the strike. Talking about how it's a good thing. He went to film school, so of course he's been conditioned to agree with the Screenwriters Guild and the Actors Unions and all of that. And I was kind of pointing it out to him. I was like, and how many of the people who go in and they sit there and they hear the whole speech, well, put your time in, and eventually you'll meet people, you'll be in the industry, you'll get to pitch a script to a guy like Steven Spielberg. How many of the people who start at the bottom ever actually do that? And he was like, well, I mean, and I was like, how many people whose dad has a big name? And I know I just said nepotism's like, I don't have a problem with it. I still don't. I'm just saying the guilds are lying to you by telling you, oh, well, if you come in and you work for pennies and you live in a studio apartment in Los Angeles that costs you $4,000 a month, and you do that for 20 years, maybe you might get to talk to James Cameron in an elevator. Yeah. And they never do. You are so much better off as a screenwriter, in my opinion. Sure, go and work, do your thing, but on the side, start writing your own stuff, pitch it to indie companies, get out of there, and leave the union if you gotta, because they're not actually doing anything for you, and they never will.
When they ratified the final contract, only like 38% of the people in the union even came to vote.
Yeah, I guarantee you that a lot of those people in the unions were sitting at home going, God, I just wish I was able to work right now. Like...
Yeah.
Like, I get that this was a particularly...
And it hurts the little guy more.
Yeah. I get that this was
preaching about it.
A particularly, like, the AI thing. I get that. But, like, that's, like, the one time the union maybe had a point.
That was it, yeah.
Like...
We should be getting residuals from streaming. No.
For your thing that didn't make any money.
Let's finish up these super chats. Now that I have to watch the Star Wars Christmas special. It's all over. Olivia Claire said, what's everyone's go-to order at Taco Bell?
Ooh.
I mean, I always just got plain hard shell or soft shell tacos, no sour cream, but now it's cheesy gordita crunch.
You would go to Taco Bell for one singular taco?
No, like multiples of them, like a meal.
No sour cream.
No sour cream.
Yeah? Okay, how about you?
I usually I got three main staples. I'll do either a box of the 6 of the Supreme tacos, ground beef with the the works. I'll do one of the beefy crunch burritos maybe. I love those with some steak in them. And then I like the cheesy crunch wrap. The steak and cheese crunch wrap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get a crunch wrap or one of the burrito bowls. Bucky Ducky said, Mary, the cool thing about land is that you can do whatever you want on it, like build a castle for your ducks and chickens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have ducks or chickens.
Well, you could.
But if you wanted to.
I don't want ducks or chickens.
How about like sheep?
I don't want animals.
How about like a large number of barnyard dogs?
I don't want animals. I don't want animals. I don't want to live with animals. I don't want to own animals. I'm sorry. I might have a cat, maybe. Like a decade from now. Hiroshima Otaru said, Fed is lying about Home Alone to hide real inflation.
That is 110% accurate.
Yeah.
Time to end the Fed.
DCNC.
I didn't even think about that. The psyops are getting really clever.
They are.
Yeah. DCNC said, Kurtaj and Assange gonna team up in British jail for game leaks.
That's a good idea. That's that would be fantastic. And then unfortunately Trump can't pardon Kurtaj because he's not an American citizen.
Deeply unfortunate.
Shane H. Wilder said Kevin's dad is the founder of McAllister's Deli.
What if he did run a deli? He doesn't look like in the movie. He doesn't look like a deli.
No.
Nah, he just he looks like he's either like upper management or Like a lawyer.
He did, but he's almost too like schlubby to be a lawyer. He's
not schlubby.
What I mean is that maybe I'm kind of judging him on how he looked after that as he got older.
Well, you also got to remember that he's in Chicago and he's a Chicagoan.
Happy wife. He's a happy wife, happy life guy. Like his wife makes all the decisions around the house because she's very clearly the one who's more family centered there, and he has more. Kevin has more conversations with her anyway.
He's the fun TV dad.
He's the fun TV dad.
Corey Anderson said, can y'all make a list of what y'all will and won't read? Because my last super chat yesterday was a banger.
What was it?
I don't remember what it was.
And I'm not going to make a list like that because I don't know what that would entail.
It's about the spirit of the law.
Yeah.
No
You got to do
control.
a members only stream where you read all of the super chats you feel like you can't read live.
It's not even just about TOS though. It's like some things I'm not going to read, like, period. Doesn't matter where. No Control said Merry Christmas.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you.
The Mad Leprechaun said a better theory is that Kevin grew up to be the collector from the movies The Collector and The Collection.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen either of those.
I don't think I have either. Red Nosed Rain Derp said think about it. Okay. It's about Anne Frank. I'm not going to read this.
I'm still not under... I didn't even see that one.
There was an explanation about land and Anne Frank. I don't know.
She lived in a city and they rounded her up. Yep.
Username I'm not going to read said they use coconut shavings for fake snow.
I didn't know that.
That would be delicious.
I don't know if that's real.
Yo, I would take that.
They replaced the toxic stuff with coconut.
The next person lists what it actually is.
No, take that snow, spray some chocolate on it. I'll eat that stuff with a spoon.
Red Nosed Rain Derp said fake snow is usually sodium polyacrylate.
Yep.
In the film It's a Wonderful Life, the snow was made of painted cornflakes. Weird people, no trivia.
They're just like, oh, and like just hits you in the eye, and you're like, damn it.
You eat some. Olivia Claire said, all I want for Christmas is Brett's Mickey voice.
Well, you can't always get what you want.
Somebody said something else about Brett that I won't read on stream, but I did remember.
That's not nice.
And I want to see his reaction to it, but I will spare him in front of the camera.
Okay. Heavy Burn Man said, put Miss Claus in a home already.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Red Nosed Raindrop said, I wash my hands to Rump Shaker by Rec and Effect.
Yes, Rex and Effect.
Rex and Effect.
Yep.
Organized Business Services said, Canada Asian doctor can't speak English.
No, I mean, maybe she's just really bad at reading a script. Look, we watched Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom yesterday, and Nicole Kidman, who's traditionally a fantastic actress, sounded like she was like somebody was feeding her the lines in an earpiece, and she had never read them before. So, you know, maybe the script for the COVID propaganda was just a bad COVID script. Like I said, I was saying, like, look, I'm not even like, I'm so beaten down by Hollywood. I'm like, I don't even care if there's propaganda. Can you just make it good propaganda? I'm okay with good propaganda. Just write it better.
Yeah.
It does not.
Makes good writing makes the propaganda go down easier.
It does not escape me that the phrase "Canada Asian doctor can't speak English" is not proper English.
Yes.
It's not.
That does not escape me.
Yeah.
They with $5, it might have been on a character limit. I don't know.
No, the character limit's like 150.
Okay.
Heavy Burn Man said, PSA, Mary does not represent us senior Zoomers.
Okay, all right. What are you drawing the line for senior Zoomer at? Because
what
like
makes someone a
I was
senior
born in
Zoomer?
2000, and the Zoomers start in 1996.
so I'm a senior Zoomer.
I guess that would include you.
I'm 97.
Yeah.
So
You're the senior Zoomer.
I feel like you're just kind of like
The middle Zoomer.
you're solidly you're an elder Zoomer. You're an early Zoomer, but I wouldn't.
I
would,
watched
yeah.
SpongeBob. That makes me an elder Zoomer.
I don't know that I agree with that statement.
No?
We gotta have something like 9/11.
Yeah.
I mean that came out wrong, but we gotta have, like 9/11. You know, you can pretty firmly say like if you remember 9/11, there's kind of a generational gap there.
I watched a comedy thing yesterday where this guy says two
Well.
girls, one cup was 9/11 for porn.
Let me think.
Do you recall Charlie the Unicorn?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll call you an elder Zoomer in that case.
But I thought it was funny
Well, yeah.
at the time.
It was funny.
I don't know why.
It was funny. It's still funny.
It's not still funny.
It's still funny.
It's not.
I find it all right. Okay. We're just going to have to agree to disagree, and I am going to slander you on the internet later.
Wait, Brett, do you know what that is?
What?
Charlie the Unicorn?
Nope. But I'm older than
We're
you guys.
going to Candy Mountain, Charlie. like that, yeah.
No.
It's a Leopleurodon, a magical Leopleurodon, Charlie.
Stop! Gordon Shumway said, I did not get a Christmas tree this year, but I promised to wipe down my Festivus pole so as not to anger the suburban white women.
I have a little Charlie Brown Christmas tree that a friend of mine gave me as a gift several years ago. I cherish it greatly. It's tiny. It's awesome.
Do you have it up right now?
I do.
That's nice.
Oh, wait, they're mad that you didn't do Mickey.
Do the Mickey voice.
You didn't do the Mickey voice.
Do the Mickey voice. They've given us 11 parties.
I can't.
I'm going to take your kneecaps.
Nope, he did it.
If you don't do the Mickey voice.
It's good. His is good.
See, his is better than yours, Brett.
It is.
Step up your game.
Let's keep going.
DCNC said, let's go to Super Chats. Let's do one more. We'll do the rest after the fact. Yes.
Exactly.
We say those things. T-Dog said, please review the following movies. Triple R, Air, Godzilla, The Holdovers?
The Holdovers.
He said but okay. The Iron Claw, Bottoms. No, not gonna review that. And Anyone But You. Actually surprised I enjoyed it.
There's a strong possibility that over the holidays I will review both The Holdovers and
Bottoms.
And I will possibly review
What is Bottoms?
The Iron Claw and The Holdovers over the holidays if I get a chance to go to the theater.
It's a queer comedy movie that came out this year with Rachel Sennett.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, if you are someone else's social media and you don't post something to get them put on a do not fly list, then you're doing it wrong.
True.
Heavy Burnman said, iFunny Gang.
Yeah.
Serenko Productions said, Hella equals Hell LA, Los Angeles, LOL. Went back home for Christmas. Gonna get more Luna pics for Cute of the Day, too.
Yeah, you guys have been coming out for Cute of the Day. We got a bunch to get into once we get back from the break.
Quite Blackpilled said, I am a punk. Can you read chat?
That was perfect.
Pat the Plumber. Oh, that was the one asking us to stop.
Yep.
Matt Kelly said, Pat the Plumber, thanks for stopping the People's Joker. Not all heroes wear capes.
See, I think what we should do is now every episode we put it on and say we watch it every episode until somebody stops it for $20.
Oh my God.
Easy money. Tacti Platty said, Aidan, would it be okay if Redskins' name came back?
I mean, from what I understand, they polled Native Americans and they said they didn't care. They didn't find it offensive, 9 out of 10.
Yeah. But the suburban white women hated
suburban
it.
White women will stop anything from happening.
I mean, I do think the Commanders is a little bit of a silly name. That sounds like a minor league football team name. You know,
It's too generic.
that's a high school team name, right? Yeah, that's what they named NFL Europe teams.
Yeah. Not good.
Wait, what did they name the Cleveland Indians after they? Wasn't that also something?
I think they changed the.
That's not even a slur.
I think they changed.
It was the logo that they had a problem.
It's
Chief
Indian
Wahoo.
is a weird term right now.
Yeah.
The Native American community typically doesn't like it, but it is the term used in most legal documents and official organizations. It really. With Native Americans, the best thing you can do, if you know what their tribe is, refer to them by their tribe. Native American is the safe bet. Some of the older ones do prefer Indian, people who are in their 70s and 80s, because it's what they're accustomed to.
Guardians, thank you.
Ask,
yeah,
basically.
They renamed them the Guardians, and it's super generic.
Wait, they renamed the Cleveland Indians to the Guardians?
Yes. So again, just like the Commanders, super generic and safe as possible.
Why not just do what Florida State did and use the tribe? And work with the tribe, like the Florida. I think it's Florida State. Yeah, the Seminoles. They have an actual Seminole guy ride out on a horse with a spear at the beginning of their games. It's sick.
The people used to get very mad at me because I kept wearing a Cleveland Indians hat for many years afterwards because it's got the logo on there, and they're like, and I'm like, look, I love the movie Major League and Major League 2, and you will not stop me from wearing this hat because I love that movie.
I'm at the point where my ears are hurting from the headphones, so I have to take them off. Shane H. Wilder said, wait, isn't Ozzy Anglican? I know Geezer is Catholic because he wrote the one Black Sabbath Christian song, After Forever. I don't know what his religious affiliation is. Gordon Shumway said, Prometheus is a Christmas movie.
There's a lot of Christmas movies if you just go by the logic that Christmas happens over it. I'm okay with that discussion. Right now, I think it's the hipster thing to say that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It's the hipster thing to do.
Grofty said, at what time during the day will the PCC content be posted while you're taking time off? Someone let me know in GamerMaids chat. Merry Christmas, everyone.
If you're still there, my friend, I can let you know that right now. So for Saturday and Sunday, it will be 10, 1, and 4 will be the times that those come out. But then for the rest of the week, Monday through Friday, it will be 11 and 4, 2 a day, except for Christmas Day. I believe just one video is going to come out that day. But the rest of the week, there will be 11 and 4. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there will be a pop culture conspiracy video that comes out every morning at 11 a.m.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here.
Bucky
Ducky said Willy's Wonderland was one of the movies of all time.
It was definitely a movie.
It was a movie. High Voltage 75 said, who's your favorite crisis actor of 2023? Tiffany Gomez.
Yes. Who would be my favorite?
Certified crisis actor.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You are all my favorite crisis actors.
He loves all his children equally.
I don't have a favorite. I do.
No Diggity 24/7 said, yup, Blackstreet.
Exactly. Got to bag it up.
Shane H. Wilder said, best pop culture moment was the strike.
There you go.
No, it wasn't. Organized Business Services said, you mean to tell Brett you guys have to upload non-live content for YouTube hours of content for what? It's not live. Really? YouTube? Really? Merry Christmas, guys. I don't know what that super chat means.
I think there was supposed to be a question mark after really YouTube really. And yeah, it's look, a lot of it is like we're spreading out these clipped episodes throughout the week, whereas normally we would drop them all over the weekend and then all on Monday. We're spreading that out, and we've recorded other videos. I will probably also be recording. No, I will. I shouldn't say also. I've already committed to it. I will be recording an episode review for episode 4 of Reacher, because that will continue, and I do hope to see at least either the holdovers or the Iron Claw over the weekend or over the holiday break.
Bucky Ducky said, unfortunately cover a lot of Taylor Swift. Mary, can you just admit to being a Swiftie? We ain't gonna judge you for it.
They would definitely judge
First
you.
of all, yes,
you should cosplay Taylor Swift.
But second of all, I'm not a Swiftie. I don't listen to Taylor Swift music.
It's okay, Mary. This is a safe space.
The one song from her I listened to was one that had Lana Del Rey on it. That's an exception to that rule.
I enjoy her older stuff. Like, I'll listen to her older stuff. I'm not a fan of basically anything, I think, after 1989.
That's
including
what
1989.
I said is I like her country music.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Like Red's a solid album.
Yeah.
Oh, I might review Rebel Moon. I might.
Do you really want to put yourself through
I heard
that?
it's one of the worst movies of Zack Snyder's career.
Yes. So I thought Jeremy Johns.
Just wait for the sequel.
Jeremy Johns gave it a very even keel review. Basically said, like, if you like Zack Snyder, it's the movie you expect it to be. If you don't like Zack Snyder, it's the movie you're going to expect it to be.
Yeah, it's wasn't it originally? Didn't he write it as a spec script for a Star Wars film?
He pitched it as an R-rated Star Wars film that he pitched to Disney, and they're like, no. And then
Why is it R-rated? Is there language?
This one is not.
So that was the thing, is he said there's 2 versions that they were going to release. The one's PG-13 and one's R.
There's always got to be.
What's wrong with this guy?
He needs every.
Thank you.
2 cuts.
I mean, I think it's a little silly. Either do it and market it as a R-rated Star Wars film, like as the idea, or like just make it PG-13 because.
Also,
it's going to have broader appeal. Like, more people will see it.
Also, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a huge fan of Sofia Boutella as an actress.
Who is that?
She's the...
Never seen her in my life.
Stop it!
She's the girl boss in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Boutella?
Girl boss lead.
Boutella. B-O-U, I think. Yeah.
Bucky Ducky said, my brother-in-law works on a sub. The military uses console controllers on lots of their equipment. That wasn't a real issue with Ocean Gate.
The problem is it's memeable. It's instant.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is like everybody was making fun of it, and it's like, that's actually not out of the ordinary.
It's I don't remember.
There's an interesting question here.
Go for it.
Sorenko Productions said, speaking of Taylor Swift, Aidan, I have to ask every PCC guest now, thoughts on Taylor Swift is the Antichrist conspiracy?
That's a conspiracy?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
I mean, I am of the opinion that the Antichrist will wear a wizard hat and sit in the Vatican. Not the current one, but I'm of the opinion that that'll happen at some point. So I don't think it's going to be Taylor Swift unless she becomes the Pope.
That'd be cool.
Well, I'm guessing the Antichrist has to be male anyway.
Yeah, probably, considering the whole Christ aspect.
Yeah. DC&C said fence sitter for the embroidery bratty.
Fence sitter.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, maybe no.
You're
maybe,
like proud of not having opinions.
Yeah, maybe I'll just put like milk and toast.
Milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Order that on Etsy.
No. Here's the thing. Here's why everyone should be embarrassed by that, because nothing. What I was asking, I said I posted a list of movies that I liked for the year and then movies that I didn't like. I don't know what makes people more angry. When you like something they think you're supposed to hate, or when you hate something they think you're supposed to like. Cry harder.
Maybe you do
Cry harder.
Maybe do like milk toast, milkshake, milkers.
Ooh, milkshake. Yeah, sure.
Milk truck?
Milk truck. I like milk toast.
Milk toast, milkshake, milk truck.
Yeah. Like
You gotta spell them all with the QUE too.
Yeah, you can't spell them that with the original way. Like Cry Harder. Like, oh, that's the worst movie I've ever seen. I'm like, well, unless you're the supreme authority on movies, which you're not.
I am.
You're not. Nobody is. There is no supreme authority on movies. So it's like, then people, and there's always this tone of just insane moral superiority, like weird superiority. I'm like, oh, actually, that movie was awful. Or actually, that movie was a masterpiece. I'm like, bruh, I don't care.
And then they tell you the best movie of all time is something in black and white.
You never say bruh. Where is this coming from?
Bruh.
Shane H. Wilder said, I'll have a couple of memes for y'all while you're off. I'll probably work on them while listening to Adeste Fidelis. Merry Christmas. Also, remember it was your parents that struck Arius at Nicaea.
Your parents?
I don't think my parents did that.
My parents didn't do that. St. Nick is said to have done that. The holy bitch slap.
Or is he saying Santa isn't real?
I
guess that's what he means.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Do you know that Santa Claus, like the concept of the modern Santa Claus, actually derives from a protest against Puritan rule as well as St. Nicholas?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah. So there's the legend of St. Nicholas got mixed in with after one of the English Civil Wars, the Puritans banned celebrations of Christmas. So people created Father Christmas as a protest, and Father Christmas was the original the figure that kind of became Santa Claus when he mixed with St. Nick's gift giving. Okay. So the original Father Christmas didn't give presents. He was just the spirit of Christmas.
Where did Kris Kringle come from?
It's just all kind of general, there were that one I think is
50s marketing here in America.
I think that one's later.
Okay.
Because Santa Claus as we know him today, it's kind of a mix of this Father Christmas Saint Nick idea that came about in England, and then also that kind of develops into Sinterklaas, which is the the Dutch guy. And Sinterklaas has an assistant called Schwarz Peter, who's
beats the children
in blackface.
Beats the children for being naughty.
Yeah. Articles about that being rehashed. Well, wow, I didn't know that. To quote Brett Dasovic, that would be your slogan.
Okay. Yes.
Wow.
If I had a Live, Laugh, Love poster, it would say, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's your signature. Bang Bang Lulu, I'm not going to read that. Bucky Ducky said, that's okay, Mary. You can borrow a duck. I don't want to borrow a duck either. I just don't want a duck. I'm sorry. Ryle Kittenhouse sent us $17.76 without a message.
Thank you.
Because it's July 4th in his heart.
It's every day is the 4th of July.
Not that John Stewart said, I'm older than Brett, and I know Charlie the Unicorn.
Yeah, Brett, you're just behind the times, man.
Okay. Well, sorry.
Yeah. And you're a pop culture podcast, and you don't even know Charlie the Unicorn.
That's the thing about doing a job like this is you're now supposed to know everything about everything all the time.
Oh, I know. I'll get questions. People will be like, can you tell me about the Snallygaster of late Wapatomic? And I'm like,
I don't know what that is.
I can if I have a week to research it.
Give me some time? Yeah.
Oh, we missed this $20 one from Rhaegar Targaryen, I think. Me looking at the crisis meter, nodding like Jack Nicholson meme from Anger Management. Mary, are you going to watch the whole movie? If so, I can't wait until the B. Arthur scene in Mos Eisley?
Mos Eisley.
Eisley? Merry Christmas? I don't know what that is referring to, but okay. I am going to watch the whole movie. That was the agreement. Chris C said Mary identified as an elder Zoomer, LOL. Aidan, best hair. Hi, Brett. Never let Mocha win.
Yes, even...
What does that mean?
Even at this joyous time of year, even with love in your heart and Christmas in your brain, there will be no love for Mocha the Derpy Cat. It will never be shown on the show. Sorry.
Who is Mocha the Dirt
Even the spirit of Christmas is not enough to get me to show that cat on this show. I'm sorry.
Who is Mocha the Derpy Cat?
Mocha is there's a viewer of the show. Her name is Olivia. Olivia is a lovely person. Unfortunately, Olivia has a cat that is not lovely.
Is this the one who
awful?
Who compliments you?
Yes,
all the time.
Olivia is lovely, and her cat is awful, and unfortunately, that's her fault. Like she got the cat. I don't know why she would do that.
Can I be shown pictures of the cat?
Not on this show.
Privately?
You can't. Not by me. Somebody else is gonna have to do that for you. I am not gonna.
All right, somebody send pictures of the cat to thelorelodge@gmail.com.
Banned.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Do the Mickey voice, or Mary will beat you, Brett." I'll beat you.
This
like
is I'm sorry, guys. This is a lot like telling me to incessantly tell me to go see Godzilla -1. The more you tell me to do something, the less I want to do it. So the more you tell me I have to do something, the less I want to do it. I'm sorry.
I don't know where this rumor came from that I beat Brett mercilessly off camera.
I mean, I'd believe it.
I'm gonna start wearing.
See it?
I will.
I
Start
said I'd
wearing,
believe it, not that I've seen it.
Yeah, I'll wear the long sleeve shirts if it happens. Don't worry, you guys will know.
See?
Yeah.
DCNC said Brett's got arnica cream and an Amber Heard makeup set.
I don't know.
To
what that
hide
means.
the bruises.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, because she did the thing with the makeup for like when she went to court.
Kay wanted me to deliver a line one last time for the year. She belongs in hell.
Hell.
She's a wicked witch who belongs in hell.
Thank you, Donald Trump, for that.
Because I enjoy it. Bucky Ducky said, Aidan, you have been one of the best guest hosts. I'd love to see more of you. I just can't do your long form content. It's too much for me.
It is a lot.
He's like, bro,
it is a lot.
You gotta
love
chill
you,
on that. Like,
but I don't want to watch your YouTube videos.
Listen.
Oh no, that's like still to this day the worst insult that's ever. Like people have said vile things about us on this show, but my favorite to this day is still the guy who's like, Brett seems like a really nice person. He's just not very good at this.
Oh no.
How do you like? They don't realize like that's how you hurt someone. That's how you hurt someone.
Yeah, telling me I suck at my job, I'm just gonna be like, all right, whatever. But you say something nice about me that seems genuine.
He's just not cut out for this.
Like you're just like there was one of that the other day. I was just like, wow, you just really don't have a voice for podcasting. And that's me because I'm always like, I've got a face for radio. So having what really
you don't have a voice for podcasting.
What really is bad is when you have both a face for radio and a voice for nothing, and that's just not good at all.
When you've got a voice for written essays.
You have a voice for stock images.
Yes, you've got. You have a voice for speech writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brutal. DCNC said, grew up in Australia thinking reindeers were fictional like Santa. At a restaurant in Norway with reindeer on the menu, laughed at the joke, ordered it. Lesson, reindeers exist and are delicious.
Mr. Beast just released a video where he went and saw real reindeers with his friends.
How are they real? I don't get it. Like, are they different than deer?
Oh no! Oh boy!
We should watch the video. We should watch this after the show.
What?
Have you heard of a thing called a caribou?
Yeah.
That's a reindeer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I heard of that. Why
they're real. It's just, I
That's
thought
not
this
their
was going to
real
be one
name.
of those moments where somebody was like, "Dolphins aren't real."
I will say that this is kind of like.
But
when
nobody
people say-
calls them reindeer.
A lot. In English, they're reindeer.
I will say that like when people like I didn't know that cucumbers made pickles, right?
No, yeah, like Sarah from Gamermaids literally said she had no idea.
I didn't know either. I didn't know.
When did you learn that?
I don't know, but I don't think about it. I don't know.
What is Gamermaids?
It's the gaming show from Tim Katz that goes on. Well, it's actually
It's
been
going on
live
right
for an
now.
hour now.
Because we're still on
But
the
it
air.
goes on. It's supposed to go on after we're done.
My show's
They're
supposed to
live right
start.
now.
My show tonight is supposed to start in an hour.
Well,
so
let's
I got to
finish
break every speed law.
right,
No,
let's-
I'm starting late. I'm starting at 9.
Okay. Matt said that MFR is not real. Hashtag lizard people.
Lizard people?
Lizard
people.
Lizard people.
Shane H. Wilder said, Brett, do you know about salad fingers?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Guess you're just not a YouTube guy.
I'm not.
Surenko Productions said, well, it is the Antichrist. The opposite of male is female, no? Wait, I got it. Taylor Swift will become trans and president of 2024, calling it now.
There you go.
It's all happening. It's all real. Otis Crinkle said, hey, Brett, don't go see Godzilla -1. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Reverse
Do you want to see it yet?
Reverse psychology will not work on me.
What is Godzilla -1?
It's a new
It's
Godzilla,
the Godzilla
movie.
movie.
Okay. All right.
We're the movie people here.
Also, speaking of kaiju movies, I went back and rewatched Pacific Rim and had a lot of fun, and then I made the horrible, gut-wrenching error of watching Pacific Rim 2.
I've never seen the second one. The first one's fantastic.
The first one throws me off because most of the acting is really good except for like the main character.
Yeah.
He's just awful. And then the sequel, I was like, oh, John Boyega. Okay, he's a solid actor. And the writing, it was just a straight up comedy movie, whereas the first one was really serious. And I was like,
the first one.
I kind of want to see what they do with the third one, if it ever happens.
Yeah.
Bucky Ducky said, I mean it with love, Aidan. They're high quality videos and well put together. I just think they're too long.
Well, thank you. I understand that. You know, some people like the short form, some people like the long form.
It's not you, it's me. That's what he's saying.
I never hold it against somebody if they don't like our style. Like, you know, that's fine by me. Like, you know, if my stuff's not for you, it's not for you. I'm happy to recommend you somebody who I think might work better, like bedtime stories.
Yeah. Like, oh, would you like to see something not intelligent? I can send it.
That's how I meant. I just meant shorter.
It's called Pop Culture Crisis.
Yeah.
I just meant shorter. You know, I would say Wendigoon, his videos recently have been a little bit on the shorter side because he's doing one big like compilation of cryptids in an iceberg, but he also typically has videos that are 1 to 2 hours long.
All right, guys, before we go, I want to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of you. Thank you so much for being part of this show all year. We will be off until the new year, so I just want to thank everyone for joining us. It's been a hell of a year. It looks like we're on our way to 90,000 subscribers before the new year. I hope to hit 100,000 subscribers by springtime, and it's been an absolute journey with you guys, so thank you for that. Also remember that if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do that and have a happy, safe new year. And so, my friend Aidan, let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah. So I am the host of the Lore Lodge channel here on YouTube. That is the place where you can find the most of me. I also have my personal channel, which is just Aidan Mattis. It's at the Aidan Mattis. If you search my name as it's spelled in the description, you should find it if you filter for channels. I'm actually going to be live later tonight for a stream where we will be imbibing and playing either Lethal Company or GTFO, which are both horror extraction games. One is sillier than the other. So if you want to see me and my buddies from high school get drunk and scream at things, that's your prerogative. It'll be live around 8:30 or 9.
Perfect.
Probably 9, looking at the time right now.
Right. Mary, where can we find
we
you?
do have some hostage chats right now. First of all, you can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. Firstly, Tacti Platty says, Aidan, do you know who Slash is?
Yeah. As in the guitarist of Guns N' Roses? Yes.
I guess they are saying that would make you an elder Zoomer.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
This came up yesterday.
People don't know who Slash is?
I mean, I'd heard of him.
Mary goes, look, what did you say?
I'm 23.
I'm 23.
I don't know. Okay.
It was the way you said it was why it was funny.
I like how it's... That's like when people say the late 20th century and it just like hurts me to my core.
Yeah.
Okay. High Voltage 75 said, is it now a hostage crisis? Merry Christmas, everyone. See you next year, PCC.
Hostage crisis?
Technically, yes, we
Yes,
are in a
it
hostage
is.
crisis right now. If we got to 13 crisis parties, it would be a real hostage crisis.
Bucky Ducky said, LOL, I'll join Mary in the Not Intelligent Show Club. Glad I'm not alone. DCNC said, Merry Christmas. And then Shane
Thank you,
H.
DCNC.
Wilder said, officially the longest non-planned episode. Is that true? That's not true.
Wouldn't surprise me. I can talk quite a bit.
Yeah.
We've gone 3.5 before.
Bucky,
right?
Shane H. Wilder's the one who keeps track of that. He's pretty
That can't be
knowledgeable,
right.
so it's probably true.
Okay. I think that was all the chats,
All right,
though.
guys.
One of these
But
times
anyway,
I'll just
I will
not
say-
plan to stream and I'll just stay here and won't leave.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas and not Happy Holidays. Specifically, Merry Christmas to all of the crisis actors. And see you next year.
Yes. All right, guys. If you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. Pop Culture Crisis is here normally 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you prefer to to listen to this podcast rather than watch. Yes, we will be off until the new year, but please be on the lookout on the channel. We will have clips going up. We will have some pop culture conspiracy videos coming out. I got some other reviews coming in. We got one more from Serenko Productions. Says, happy hostage party, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, PCC. 100K, let's go?
Let's do it.
Question mark. And then one more from Bucky Ducky. After credit scene, Brett screams beans for me. No,
Christmas present for the crisis actors?
Maybe not. Well, they'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
I mean, well, actually, no. If they got to 13 crisis parties, the 13th crisis party would go off and trigger a post-credit scene. So if they want to make that happen, they would have to make that happen.
A post-credit scene here?
Well, we go into the off-camera mode, and then I leave the stream running, and then there's a possibility that another crisis party goes off, and we go back to live.
Oh!
And so it's a post-credit scene.
Gotcha. Okay, I see.
We got a $20 one real quick from Rhaegar Targaryen. I was born in the late 20th century, and we are now in the early 21st century. Oh, hi, Aidan. Also, holiday means holy day.
Oh, don't refer to things in this way to me. It's hurting my soul.
Said 485 was 3 hours, 1 minute, 30 seconds, and was the previous longest. Is that true?
That sounds.
Who is episode 485? Because I want to send them a mocking email telling them I am more long-winded than they are.
You win. Yeah.
So yes, guys, I don't know if we're going to get that crisis party. Perhaps if we did, but other than
that was with Director Phil.
Yes,
that was our episode with Director Phil. So I guess that was the longest.
That one went long. So, all right, guys. So yes, now if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at @popculture_show. We got a $20 one here from Tammy Lee. Says, I'm Potawatomi, Seminole in German. We say, is that NDN? Shawnee, Oklahoma, Merry Christmas, much love and peace to all of the crisis actors. I actually lived by a park called Potawatomi Park.
That's why you know how to
no way.
that's so easily.
That's why I know how to say it.
We talked about the Potawatomi a few times this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a correction. High Voltage 75 said episode 214 was 3 hours, 14 minutes, 55 seconds. We've already been through this. I had a feeling that was correct.
All right. Well, I mean, we could sit here in silence for 7 more minutes.
Yeah. Do you want to do that?
I'm just sitting here.
I like breaking records.
I've only got one more. Oh wait, to break the record. Oh, you want to sit there and break the record for longest show?
That's what they. I mean,
so we need to break.
We need to find something to talk about for the next 7 minutes.
Or not.
Look, I just put it back in the
We'll
main
just start
camera
cleaning up all the money.
How about we just arm wrestle?
What could we talk about? Was there something else? We could talk about Ruby Frank.
How about Brett and I I douse ourselves in olive oil.
The Christmas stream with a story about an abusive YouTuber mom.
I can do a quick version of the disappearance of the Solder Children.
We got another super chat here from Bucky Ducky for $2. He says, speaking of Dr. Phil, you should have Dr. Phil?
Director Phil.
Director Phil.
He put DR. He put doctor, not director.
Maybe you should have Dr. Phil.
D-I-R.
Y'all should have him back.
Yes.
You could have Dr. Phil.
We could have Dr.
Or Dr. Phil.
We got Bad Baby on, but she's pregnant right now.
I'm looking
at 2 guests in one.
Episode 214 was about Stranger Things star says he experienced racism from fans at Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Really?
Guessed that day.
Yep.
Okay, I gotta say, you gotta be a real curmudgeon to be racist to a kid for being in a movie or a TV show.
We looked into it and it seemed like he was just like kind of making things up. Like he was kind of exaggerating. He just felt like they were going up to his white co-stars for pictures more. Like that doesn't mean
Didn't
that
they
they're
just
racist.
have bigger roles in the show generally?
Yeah. Like
we got some super chats to finish up here, guys. We got one from DC&C says Mary, as in Mary, Crisis Mus, as in Live Mus. Maybe
I'm gonna be living Moss with this gift card.
High Voltage 75 says Brett, read all of those post-it notes on the back wall.
That would be funny. Some of them are a little bit crazy.
Saturday, Aquaman, 10 a.m., 1 p.m., AI Girlfriend, 4 p.m., Megan Fox. Sunday, 10 a.m., Christian Keys, 1 p.m., Twitch ban, 4 p.m., Tinder. Should I really keep going? Do I really want to read all of them? It's just scheduling for next week.
I want to know what the oldest one is, because you had some really old ones that were still up there that just said incomprehensible.
Just the other day, I removed all the ones that said "Mary out of town, May this date to this date,"
and it was like a year ago.
Yeah, it was
or
like
something.
a year old. Otherwise, everything else is there's some fonts and stuff in case I forget. Just basic notes for everything. And then we got one more from Gordon Shumway. Says, if you want to prolong the show, you missed my $20 super chat about the Star Wars holiday special.
Oh,
do you see
I
that?
don't think that we did.
I thought we got it.
How
but
far back up there is it? This is
a long time ago.
He said, Mary, you're going to love the holiday special. It has some of the best cringe brought to you by the 70s.
Yep.
Harvey
Just retype
Korman
it.
and drag B. Arthur, Deshaun Carroll, Art Carney, and the Jefferson Starship. I know you don't know them. I don't know them.
Jefferson
but
Starship?
That's what it says.
We built this city.
Sorry, I missed your super chat.
City on
and we got a couple more here at the
Uh-huh.
end. Chris C says, reverse CCP crisis party. Let's go.
CCP crisis party?
Yep.
PCC's CCP
Oh boy.
Bucky Ducky says, I'd pay to see an arm wrestle between Brett and Aidan. Not $2.
But how
sorry.
much would you pay?
That'll be on pay-per-view. I'm not reading that. Says
Yo,
ha,
I would absolutely do a WWE style like wrestling skit with Brett.
Yep. Tacky Platty says Brett don't watch Star Trek says Brett don't watch Star Trek Enterprise. It's more your type. It's more your type. You'd hate it. Don't watch it. Wait, so because it's my type, I'd hate it.
I guess.
And then Olivia Claire says, any fun Christmas break plans?
Party.
I'm probably gonna commit some crimes.
Yeah, very likely true. I'm gonna rest and watch some movies and do some reviews. Bucky Ducky says, Aidan, I am so sad that you didn't pick up on
They didn't pick up.
That they didn't pick up on your a long time ago. That's the energy I live for.
Yeah, she said how long. You guys said how long ago was it, and I made a Star Wars reference, and nobody picked it up.
High Voltage 75 says Mr. Fluffykins looking evil in the red lighting.
Are you Mr. Fluffykins?
He's menacing.
Oh, that's Mr. Fluffykins.
He's
Oh yeah.
sniffing my hair.
Yes, he's Biden.
He's the Biden of this podcast.
Oh boy.
And then one more here. I'm not reading that. Says Brett, why do you do that? Bread, why
you do that?
Why do I do what? Why do I do what?
I don't
What are
know.
you talking about?
What do you guys think would be more fun? The PCC,
PCP one would
the
be way
PCC party, the CCP party, or the PCP party?
The PCP party.
PCP.
All day.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. DCNC says, Mary, Aidan, thumb war.
I would lose.
Guys,
why do you want that to happen?
I have
Guys,
weirdly thick thumbs, like they're very
You have
wide.
Megan Fox thumbs.
Yeah, does she have thumbs like this?
Yeah, she's
Oh, wow.
notorious.
So what
for
you're
that.
saying is that I am as good looking as Megan Fox
That's exactly
due to my
what I'm
thumbs.
saying. We have officially
You have
passed
one
3
thing.
hours.
I think I should star. I should star in the remake of Jennifer's Body.
Yeah.
And I should be
I would
Jennifer.
love to see that. Okay, I'll be Amanda Seyfried.
There you go. We have passed 3 hours and 15 minutes.
14 minutes.
14 minutes, guys. We are now at 3 hours and 15 minutes, making it the longest show. Aidan is the champ, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, we are taking off. It is time for holiday break, so stay tuned for a post-credit scene crisis party. We will see all of you guys in the new year. Later.
Bye.
See you guys.